Hi. Hello, hello. Can you hear me? Hello, hello. Hang on. Hi. Can you see me? I'm in the flesh. It's been a while since we've been in the flesh. He's got skin again, I know. I'm an old man now. I'm 29. Thank you for all the birthday wishes. I had an absolutely wonderful day. I got my ass handed to me in bowling. Having gone bowling for a birthday since I was like a kid, and it just felt like a really fun thing to do. We had a little gang of us. It was very fun. You can see me get a fantastic gutter ball on my Twitter. Had a really wonderful day. He's retiring because of his bowling injury. Yeah, like title. I'm not retiring, guys. Right? Chat, read, and comprehension not on point today. Let's be clear about that. We're just having a bit of a chat, okay? No. We'll get into that in a mo. We'll get into all that in a mo. Yeah, we're just gonna have like just a chill kind of chat and stream. It feels like there's a lot that we could talk about. I know a lot of creative friends have been talking about stuff. I feel like it's just worth a chat, you know, as someone who's been here around a while myself. No, fucking, speaking of bowling injury, because I have a nasty habit when I go bowling, that for some reason, when I throw the ball, I like kind of like get down on one knee and slide. I've got a nasty bruise on my knee from just like swinging it and going down and sliding across the ground a mo. I need to wear like knee guards or something next time I go bowling. Because the thing is, when I don't do that, I bowl worse. I was actually getting a few strikes because I was doing that. And then I stopped doing that because like actually my knees started to hurt. Instantly did worse. I won my first game in our lane. I lost the second one horribly. I lost the second one with 69 points, which was quite depressing. Quite depressing. Miss Cupcakes destroyed me in bowling. Getting back at me for Balatro. So we're like 2-1 if you count like bowling, Balatro, and Tekken now. We're getting there. Winner's point of view is back, baby. Damn you, Sophie. Good to see you. Can we talk about the 11-hour Balatro session? I left my computer on yesterday. Shout out to the Discord. We're like making memes. I left my computer on yesterday, and it was I was like logged into Balatro, so it just started clocking up hours the entire day. Like I wasn't home. I wasn't home. But like some of the fucking memes are just really funny, and like people did like quite a few of them. This one is probably my favorite. That's the wrong screen. Hang on. Let me just change the capture before we go into the void. It's just really stupid. Because like people spotted like on my Discord status that like why is he even in Balatro so long on his birthday? You know, he loves Balatro. It was really funny. It was really funny. There's a few of them like that on the Discord. Just thanks for those. I just left my computer on by accident. It's like he loves Balatro. Balatro sweep. It was very funny. But yeah, thank you everyone just genuinely for the birthday wishes. I had a wonderful day. Had a really good birthday. Really appreciate it. Gag, I think he's addicted. Thank you for the 1,000 bits at Ghosty and Cola there. Thank you very much. You can't be that addicted, Dad. The gambling. I do want to play more Balatro. That's the thing. It's like genuinely like this is like a game of the year contender for me. Like Balatro is such a fucking good game. I'm probably gonna stream more of it. Like, that's like in my off time. Like that's just the game I'm playing. I have like 40 hours in it now. Probably inflated somewot because of yesterday leaving the computer on. Kept talking about trying to get more mult on the bowling pins. If I just get a good joker, I can throw the ball and get more points. We can get ease score in this bowling lane. Oh no. Oh god. Can anyone still hear his voice? I'm here! I'm not retiring. Maybe we should start the chat today with that. I'm not retiring. I plan to be sticking around a while. You know, I hugely enjoy what I do. But I feel like there's a definite conversation that could be had there. Not so much about myself, but like a lot of creative friends are kind of like, you know, they're stepping out. And I think a lot of people have had this on their minds for a while. Definitely from like friends I've talked to. Period. And give subs, very kind. It's AI generated, it's not. Retiring. I'm not retiring. I'm not going anywhere. Thank you very much. I feel like there's a really good conversation that could be had though, because I think a lot of people are looking at it, it's like, oh god, why are so many people stepping out this year? Because there have been a noticeable amount of people stepping out this year. MatPat would have been a big one. MatPat's taken a step back. He's kind of leaving the main channel. Tom Scott would be another one. Jerma is formally retired. He's kind of just working on more like kind of different projects and that with like Ludwig and the gang. As of yesterday, I mean, my good friend, call me Kevin, is taking more of a break. I think he's going down to like one video a week is kind of his plan, but like he's taking more time out for himself. So why is that happening suddenly? Why is it like suddenly everyone's talking about it? Why is everyone taking that step back? Jacksepticeye would be another one. I mean, not retiring, but he made a video even just talking about it. Thinks he's got a few years left in him. Why is everyone got this on the mind? What happened? A weird one I even saw in myself, which is kind of like why I feel like I might be able to talk about this as well. I saw like, it was like even just a post in the subreddit this morning. And it was kind of just talking about this, where it's like, hey, you know, like, people are stepping out. And someone said, it's like, well, RT's not been doing this a while. So I reckon he's not thinking about that. And that was kind of mad. Because I've been here since 2011. I don't think a lot of people even necessarily know that. I started YouTube when I was 16 years old. I am 29 now. And the reason I think a lot of people doubt that is, number one, I started variety content in 2018. That's when most of you got here. But number two, my old videos are unlisted. And I only unlisted my old videos in 2020. So people might actually forget that. But if I do this... Yeah, watch it. Like, look at this, okay? And this is going to kind of put it in perspective. Hi, welcome to my unlisted videos. The 18th of August, 2011. This is 16-year-old me. This is my Terraria Let's Play I made when I was literally 16 years old. I was, like, in my final years of secondary school or high school back then. And I uploaded a lot. Like, these are near daily uploads even when I started. We're talking a long, long-ass time ago. And the reason people I don't think know that is because if you check... I'm just going to be careful here just to make sure I don't go... Just sure, because it's a bit weird sometimes when you open this. I just want the audio not to play. It's because if you check by oldest... Yeah. This is as far back as it goes for me, see? Uncle Dan, the cheap knockoff Sentry Man. That was like a noticeable change in my style of content with that video, and that's a video I was very proud of. So when I kind of wanted to unlist some of my old stuff, that was the cutoff point for me, because that marked a noticeable increase in the quality of my content for me personally. You might remember, shout out to TF2 High Tower, but it's an even higher tower. That was one of like the big ones of that era, like a long, long ass time ago. And like you can see even, I mean, that whole year is still here right up until Skyrim Boy here. And that's when I started variety content formally. It would have been summer 2018. But I've actually been doing this a bit longer than a lot of people think. Which is why when it comes to talking about it and why people are leaving now, like, I feel like I have a bit of a qualification to talk about it. And maybe I might be able to offer some insight about why it's happening. I think it's just an interesting talking point, and maybe kind of get some of chat's opinions on it too. Because it's on a lot of people's brains. And again, the first thing I'm saying with this is I'm not retiring. I really am not. But there did come a point where I almost did. In 2018, I almost did leave entirely. And I've talked about this a lot of times on my channel. I've been doing YouTube 7 years. You know, and I started thinking about the future. And it's really what it kind of came down to, is I was thinking about life more than anything. It's like, hey, you know, I kind of need to think about what's sustainable longer term. I need to kind of put my own well-being first and foremost there. And there was a point where I almost quit in 2018. It was before I started variety content. I started variety content because, well, if I'm going to upload occasionally now, I'm just going to have fun with it. I'm just going to do whatever I like. But I almost quit because, hey, you know, I need to be able to buy food. You know, food costs money, and I need to think about my longer future. And the main reason it got very close, to the extent that, like, I was going to start teaching English while I was living in Japan. I was going to start teaching and take a further step back, and then things exploded. And I made a very reckless decision there, and then it was like, fuck it, I'm skipping this. I'm not gonna teach. I took a big gamble, and that's why I'm still here. And that's my own story there for, like, how I almost quit. You know? And, like, how... But in that moment, though, I basically was kind of retiring, because I was taking a step back from YouTube. And then, just because things really popped off in that, there came a point where it's like, huh, maybe I should keep doing this, because I love this one a lot more. You know? And this is what I've always wanted to do. So I kind of get some of the sentiment where people are like, hey, you know, I might have to take a step back. Because I think for a lot of people, what they're thinking about is sustainability, and it's in particular the future. That was my thinking about the future moment. And because of that, I've kind of had a second wind, and now it's like, oh, hey, you know, I kind of want to do this forever. And, you know, you'll be seeing me play Fortnite from the pension home, retirement home. You'll be seeing me play it from the retirement home if I'm able for it, you know? I want to go as long as I can. But people are thinking about the future a lot more. And what they want to do, and like what life looks like in the future. And I think a YouTuber I noticed that actually put this really well recently that I will absolutely recommend. If you are a fan of video essays, shout out to Jacob Geller. He makes literally some of the best content on the entire platform. His video essays are so damn good. I can't really do them justice describing them. If you want, you like kind of like a bit of an entry point into it, he has a fantastic one on Shadow of the Colossus and kind of discovery of a secret in that game. His latest one is about a city that he can't show you. He talks a lot about art and kind of longevity and things about just life and art and how we consume things. He's a wonderful guy, and his work is really good. But he's doing something that really kind of shows even the forward thinking. Jacob Geller is releasing a book. And that book is basically his video essays, but in a physical print form. And he's releasing them as that because the idea is we don't know what's going to happen to these platforms. This could all just disappear tomorrow. And that has happened as time has gone on with the internet. Like, Mixer's dead. It's just gone now. There were people who built their livelihood there. Gone. Platforms kind of come and go all the time. And there is a bit of uncertainty and a bit of a scare as a person involved in these. It's like, God, if I put all my eggs in one basket, I'm putting them in a basket that, you know, I can't even control the circumstances of. So it's like, what happens if YouTube goes under? What happens if Twitch goes under? And that's a really uncertain thing for a lot of people. So like, you know, Jacob Geller's response is, hey, you know, here's physical print media. So even if something happens now, you can own this and hold on to these essays, this moment of time forever. There's no worry about like kind of longevity as much, like, the degradation of the physical book, you know? And I think a lot of people are starting to think about things more like that, where it's like, what if something does happen to YouTube and Twitch? Because things have happened before. Things are a bit shakier. You kind of live at the whims of like an algorithm a lot of the time on these platforms, where things just do kind of just come and go. You know, you'll have your 10 seconds of fame, and then it's like, okay, you know, it's time to step down now. And that's a very uncertain environment for a lot of people to be in, you know? But we knew that when we signed up for it. We knew that when we signed up for it, and all of us that do this kind of for a career and a job know that. So, what's another big difference? What has kind of got a lot of people thinking about the future lately? Personally, I think there was a big shift in a lot of people's mindsets and mentalities around lockdown and COVID. 2020 specifically was kind of the year where a lot of people had to kind of reevaluate a lot of shit. Because world felt like shit, you know. I know a lot of us kind of retreated into content and that, and really sunk a lot of time to even just kind of cope with the world at large. You know, I know that even for 2020, we did daily videos ourselves. That's something I'd never really want to do personally again, because that's a lot. That's very intense. But a lot of people did that. And I think ever since 2020 as well, like kind of for, what's the best way to phrase it? Like, it feels like everyone, well, I mean, it's a good way of phrasing it. It feels like, I mean, everyone's a bit more depressed. Is maybe one way to put it. You know, 2020 really did a number, I think, on everyone's mental health. You know, and it got us kind of thinking about life, like in a much larger scale. Like, God, we kind of have to think about the future and what we're doing here a bit more. Yeah, I think everyone could feel that stuff. I think everyone got pretty depressed. Everyone got pretty depressed, you know. Like, a lot of people lost loved ones and that shit. And that too, you know. It's kind of sad in retrospect, because 2020 was a case of, hey, we got to do some very basic shit to stop everyone dying, and we couldn't do it, you know. And it's like, that just kind of makes you lose a bit of hope in that, you know. It was a big vibe check. Yeah, the vibe was not very good in 2020. But I think, especially since then, in kind of like the online sphere, like, I think there has been a bit of a shift. Because a lot of people burnt themselves out from 2020. Like, because everyone went very hard. Naturally, you know, everyone wanted to. You needed that bit of escapism. But I think also, maybe even online, I think people maybe got a bit more irritable. You know, a little more fed up, and just because of frustrations in that in day-to-day life, you know, everyone's a bit more depressed in that, so people are a bit more volatile and lash out a bit more often, you know. There's some of that happened too. Like I know from like kind of like talking to friends and that in this particular, like kind of like reactions and comments and that, where like it feels like some people are a bit weirdly meaner ever since then, and there was a shift then, and that was it. And, you know, I'm like, when you're already suffering from poor mental health, that shit just hits a bit harder. Now, you know, I try and write it off myself. It's like, here, listen, everyone's just going through shit. You know, sometimes you just gotta yell at the man on the internet. And I kind of chalk it up to that. It's the same way you yell at the sports match, you know? Like, oh, your team fucking sucks, you know? But it's more personal here. Because, like, if your sports team could hear you yelling that at them, they'd probably take it a bit harder, you know? It's much more personal because we actually hear the response. It's like, could you stop yelling in the back there, please? You know? Definitely made my depression much worse, the lockdowns. I mean, everyone did, you know. We're not, as a human species, we have survived based on community and social interaction. You know, like, that is what's got us through everything, basically. You know, my therapist always puts it that way. It's like, we have evolved to be social creatures. And we absolutely need that in our lives. So something like 2020 comes along with like, fuck, I'm living in a box for a few months. It's not a great feeling. And that did a number on everyone's health. But I think also in 2020, and in why I'm attributing it to that in particular for a lot of mindset for creator changes, is after a lot of folks kind of started to feel a bit more burnt out and invested a lot more, and then kind of things relatively got back to normal. We're not back to normal even now. You know, COVID's still about. At least we got vaccines in our veins, so that makes a difference, you know. But it got people thinking about the future a lot more, because I think for the lot of the mindset for a lot of creators, especially in 2020, it just wasn't sustainable. It just wasn't. Like, everyone kind of burnt themselves out. I even felt that with like doing daily uploads and shit, and it came to a point where it's like, oh god, I gotta dial off the gas. This is way too much. You know, we did 3 months of daily uploads, and you know, I mean, I remember even like a lot of chats even between myself and Chloe, because like it's just the two of us on our team. You know, we had to make a change. We had to make a change. And we're never doing that again. That is a healthier mindset. And I think a lot of people since that year are kind of coming around more so. It's like, huh, I kind of got to put my own health and well-being first. Because it doesn't really matter. So it does matter if you're having fun, obviously, absolutely, and if you're passionate for it. But it has to also be sustainable. A friend of mine put it like that way back. It's not only a case of doing what you love, it's a case of doing what you love and it being sustainable, and it actually makes sense to continue doing at the pace you're doing it. You know, the brightest candle burns twice as fast. It's a very true sentiment on a lot of things. I'm glad you put your own health first. Yeah, me too, Chloe. I mean, for both of us, to be honest there, you know, like we kind of needed that year, you know, especially those months just because the world was gone to shit. But, you know, thank God we space things more now, you know, like genuinely. You know, I like to think we've been way better at kind of, like, for both of us managing our time since then. Definitely. A lot of people, especially kind of 2020, like, they started thinking about what is actually sustainable for me to do. You know, what makes sense to kind of do in the longer term future. And I think, I mean, this is something that weirdly for myself always gets me through a lot of things like this and kind of puts life in perspective for me. I know we talk about existential dread a lot on this channel, but we're all gonna die someday. We all die. And that is something, as you get older in years, that you gotta bear in mind. Do you want to spend all your life working? Because you're gonna die someday. You know, it's like, it's not just a case of stopping to sniff the roses along the way. Sniffing the roses is life. That's the bit that you want the most of. You know, like, don't be too eager to get to your final destination, because we're all gonna get there someday. And for me, because again, people are like, oh God, don't remind us. For me, that's actually a grounding thing. Like, I don't say that to kind of like spark fear in you. I spark that to kind of like try and put things in perspective on what actually matters most in figuring out life. You're going to die someday. And when you bear that in mind, you start to make decisions and figure out what the important shit is. Because, well, I'm gonna die. Let's find out what's really important and make the most amount of time we can for the important shit. You know? And that's why, that's what I mean where it's a kind of grounded thing. And when you say it like that almost, I would like to think it's a bit more of a hopeful thing, because it's like about putting things in perspective. It's not just, oh God, I'm gonna die. It's like, no, your time is limited on this earth. Fill it with the things you love the most and be kind to yourself, you know? Because you don't want to reach old age and be like, God, I wish I was nicer to myself, you know? Like, you can't keep whipping a horse and expect it to keep going faster. You know, you gotta ease up. And I think for a lot of creators, they're kind of coming around to that sentiment where it's like, God, you know, I'm kind of going flat out. I'm ignoring other parts of my life that are as equally as important as kind of creating this content and putting it out on the internet. I think a lot of people are like kind of starting to bear that in mind a lot more, where it's like, God, maybe this isn't sustainable. You know, maybe like, do I want to be stressed all the time? And like, especially in like a creative field. Because this is a creative field, like, you know, as much as it is just, you know, hey, we're playing games on the internet having fun, there is creative liberty with that, and a lot of things have to be taken. Even like comedy itself is a creative endeavor. You have to take breaks. You have to pace yourself with that. Max, good to see you in the chat. Hope you're keeping well. You have to pace yourself with that. You know, you can't just like write one thing then go into the next right away. You have to take time. You have to let the creative juices stew a bit. And I think because content creation in general online is such a personal thing for us all. Like, I look at my channel, it's my baby. Other creators look at their channel, it's their baby. You know, and it's like, you just want to pour all your time and energy into it. So we're very heavily invested, so we kind of push other things aside so we can focus on this. But you got to give yourself a bit of a break, you know, and you got to know to kind of take a step back to just keep the love alive almost. because it can be a little bit too much. It can be kind of taxing on the old mental health if you just keep going 180 miles an hour on it, you know? Something wise I'm glad I learned from Mr. Jacksepticeye himself is Mr. Jacksepticeye likes to take an annual break, which is a very healthy and very responsible thing to do. He just, like, he comes about every summer or so. There's a video that goes up from Jack, which is like, hey, I'm stepping away a while. You know, and that is a very responsible thing to do. And I've kind of adopted that myself. Yous know that every year in January, after like kind of Christmas and that, okay, 3 weeks vacation, like minimum. I'll see y'all later in January. I took a little more this year because I just felt like I needed a bit more time. You know? Similar vein as well, where it's like, hey, you know, I've just got a lot of life stuff happening this week. I'm gonna just take a step back. You know, and I'm really glad I learned that lesson, just again, Mr. Jacksepticeye. Because I think that's a really healthy mindset to just keep in mind. And you have to remind yourself almost that it's healthy, because the environment we're in, and this is something I really don't like about YouTube, it feels like you're punished for looking after your own mental well-being a lot of the time. If you take a break, taking a break is not only like, hey, you know, I'm getting some mental recharge and rest. We're so analytics driven. We're so numbers driven on a lot of this. And even if you don't care about that, it's in your face. Fun fact for creators on YouTube. Anyone who makes videos on YouTube will know this. YouTube ranks your videos from a 1 to 10 rating system. It will tell you how your video did in relation to other videos. Now, quite handy in terms of, hey, you know, gauge what's doing well. But also torturous if you're not in the best state of mind and you get a 10 out of 10 video where YouTube's like, you did shit, no one loves you anymore, no one wants to watch you might as well fuck off and die. And it's like, if you're not in a good mental state, when you look at the numbers like that, it's like, oh, you're in a bad headspace then. You're in a really bad headspace. And you get like up arrows and down arrows telling you how you do it all the time. And that's just not the healthiest. I understand why they do it that way. Very useful analytical tools, you know, and it is, you know, like if this is your livelihood, if this is your business, yes, this is actually really important information to know, because then you can kind of identify, hey, you know, people really liked when you did this. But if you're not in the right headspace, that is torturous. And that's what it comes down to. And especially when people are more burnt out and people are going through stress, you're in the right headspace a bit less. So stuff like that hits you harder and it gets you in a worse headspace. And then you have a bit of a slump and then you feel burnout, you know? And you have to almost try and juggle that in this kind of industry. It's a double-edged sword. It absolutely is. That's the thing. Like, it's a really useful analytical tool. Like, there's not a doubt in my mind, you know? Like, if this is your livelihood, it's really good to know that shit, you know? Same thing for, like, analytics where, hey, most of your viewers are based in, like, the USA, or, like, you've got, like, a UK audience here. That shit's good to know. That helps you plan, like, when you stream and then when you upload videos. This is information you want to have. But in the wrong frame of mind, that's annoying information to have, because then it's like, this video didn't do as well, you know? And it's like, that feels a bit shit, you know? And so I think, like, even for myself, one of the only reasons I've been able to stay in it as long as I have is, I mean, for me, this has always just been a passion project. And it's like, there is a sense where it's like, I try not to care about that stuff as much as I possibly can. I keep an eye on it, you know, and I keep an eye on it in the sense where it's like, just to see, it's like, hey, you know, people really enjoyed this thing. And I think that's reasonable. But I really try and separate myself where it's like, yeah, you had a 10 out of 10 video. Yeah, 10 out of 10 video, it's like, well, hey, this is just a bit more niche, you know? And that's okay. And like, that's how I try and kind of process and separate that. But with that said too, for a lot of people, you're always trying to process and separate that. And it'd be nice not to have to do that sometimes, because it feels like you're kind of juggling it in your head a lot of the time. You need to have a positive mental attitude. Again, another life lesson from Mr. Jacksepticeye. He's talked a lot about that on his channel. I think that's important too. What's your most recent 10 of 10? What's been a shit show of a video, Dan? I mean, honestly, like a 10 of 10 Latro highlights that went out, like it's just a more niche game. It is a more niche game, you know? It's like, it's poker and it's a kind of gambling thing and it's a rogue-like card builder. But I fucking love that game, you know? And that's how I process that. It's like, you know, this isn't as appealing as something as Minecraft, but of course it's not. It's way more niche. That's fine, you know? But if I'm able to say that though, because, you know, I'm trying to keep like a positive mental attitude, you know? If I was in a worse state of mind, I'd look at that and be like, ah, fuck, you know? And that's why, like, that's why I think it can be taxing on a lot of people kind of in this field. Because there is stuff like that that's very in your face. And it, like, the way a lot of information is presented is it's not enough to just have fun and do well. You must be doing better constantly. And that's like a dangerous way to kind of look at this thing. That you always must be doing better. You know? Because that can wear away on you. You know? Gotta ease off the gas sometimes. Sometimes it's about just kind of living in the moment and having fun and not just trying to be like the next big thing, the next big thing. It's like, no, I just kind of want to have fun. The grind. People always talk about the grind, yeah. It's an interesting conversation to have too, like for that, because for all of these creators, like again, you know, German, Kevin, Jacksepticeye, everyone in this industry and like this field loves what they're doing. Absolutely loves it, you know? And it's kind of like a sad thing when you kind of realize like, oh no, like I'm feeling burnt out, you know, and you have to take a step back. Everyone loves it. I think an important and almost healthy part of when you love something that much is to almost not let it consume you and like recognize that, okay, I close this door now in this part of my life and I'm gonna just take it some time out. One of the biggest life changes I ever made, that was one of my healthiest things, is I have a separate office to my I have two computers in my home. I have my office, this is my work PC, which I'm sat down at. I have a casual PC out in my living room. I have a desk set up there, and I deliberately don't have like my editing software or like recording kit on that PC. And the idea is, when I'm here, I'm in work mode. Well, work mode, you know, I'm streaming and I'm making content. When I'm out there, like, I can't work. And it forces me to kind of relax and kind of have a mental separation. And the physical separation there is like, that does me wonders. And that's a harder thing to do when you're just kind of working from home too. Like you have to kind of organize your life a bit like that. It gets like a healthier balance. Oh, that said, I'm not always best at keeping to that rule. I've played a few too many rounds of Balatro at this PC. I'm not on the PC out there, you know, but that's everyone. You know, you just keep doing your best. And having that space set up that way means it's better versus not having that altogether. You know? A few. Okay, alright. Feeling a bit targeted now. Feeling a bit called out for my Balatro habits, right? I don't need this kind of slander. It was my birthday yesterday. It was my birthday. You still gotta be nice to me for a little bit. I'm an old man now. Feeling a little called out. I can quit anytime. Oh, God. As someone who wants to eventually start streaming, the idea of my personal space may one day become my workspace scares me shitless. I'm glad someone doing it full-time has also considered all of this. I think it's an important consideration kind of as you go. It's not something you will think about when you start, because I didn't at all. But as time goes on, it is a very important consideration. Like, I would have moved to like where I live now at like 2020. And so that's when I kind of realized I should really organize myself like this. Before that, it was just the one PC. It was that kind of setup in there, you know? And like, that's just how I did it. And I was always at that. It was like my chill space, my workspace was the same space. When I moved in 2020, I was like, okay, this is actually the number one thing I want. This is really important to me. And that has made a world of difference. Because now when I'm out there sitting at the sofa, I am away from work, basically. And so there's nothing I can work on. And that's really healthy. you know? And so like, you kind of have to learn some skills. Like, you have to kind of learn it yourself. It's like this whole industry as well, you know, like it's all relatively new, you know, so you kind of just have to pick up stuff as you go. As someone who works from home, it's for your mental health to have separate spaces for work and personal. Actually makes me exhausted if I physically just use my work computer. I'm sure it does, you know, because like your body clock is kind of associating that space with like, I have to be in work mode when I'm sitting here. It's almost like evolutionary instinct where it's like, hey, you know, like I'm on the hunt or something like that when I'm here, you know? It's that kind of weird mindset. And so like, you know, your basic instinct is like, okay, be alert, be more attentive, and that you can't really feel as relaxed. You just can't. You know, and that's just the way we've evolved over time to kind of survive, is to associate spaces like that, you know? I'm just imagining RT has like 4 locks at his content room door to keep the streaming monsters away when he's not streaming. He's like, put it under lock and key. My boyfriend has a separate PC for chilling in the bedroom and uses his work laptop in the study. And that's really healthy and responsible. That is, because you have that clear separation. So when the laptop's closed, work's done. You know, and that is necessary. The biggest thing that I know that I love to do, especially when I finish kind of my edit or my streams, I love to go outside. We joke about how much grass I touch these days, but I do actually like to go outside quite often. And for me, that's a huge degree of separation because now I'm physically not at home. And there's nothing else I can do. Like my favorite and number one thing I love to do when I'm done is just head on out and go somewhere else. I know when I lived in Japan, that's how I kind of got through it. It's like I would stream, I would edit the stream, and then I would just go outside and have an adventure in Tokyo, basically. That was my everyday, and that's how I just treated work in that. That's really good too, because again, you're also getting fresh air there, you know? Getting moving a bit. Again, we joke about me being an absolute, like, gamer and just, like, being sat in my chair, like, 80 hours a week and that, but, like, I try to actually do stuff other than this. And that really helps me a lot, too. You know? I really should, but it's goddamn hot in Southeast Asia right now. I can imagine, yeah. It's pretty hot here, too, as well. It's toasty, too, in my office. I have to, like, shut the curtains and, like, put on lights and shit whenever I do, like, camera stuff. But it felt appropriate today for it to be on camera. But, so why talking about all this now, too? Maybe that's, like, another thing to just touch on. For me, it's been quite personal, especially this year. And I've talked about this on my channel before, but I remember when I decided to start variety content, there were 3 big influences on my style of content, and specifically working out what I want to do now. And I kind of looked up to the people I watch. One of them is Kryken. Kryken's still going strong. Kryken absolutely killing it. He's been around a long time. He's a veteran of the scene. The other 2, German985 and Call Me Kevin. And they're both kind of stepping away a bit more now, which is like a very surreal feeling now. Because like those are the guys I've looked up to a very long time. And they're kind of taking a step back now. And so it feels very weird. And it's hitting a bit harder because of that. Because, especially, like, for Germa streams. I fucking miss Germa streams. I am very happy for the man, obviously, because he's doing what he wants, you know? You know, and he's living life a bit more. And, you know, he's needed that for a very long time. Fuck, I miss his streams, you know? It's weirder still, because, like, these are also my friends now. You know, these are people I actually know outside of just being a creator, you know? So, like, I miss their stuff, but God, I'm so happy for him as people, you know? Kevin, like, you know, is someone, like, I love dearly. I haven't caught up with him in a while because he's been out living life, you know, and he has been. You know, touch base with Anna every now and then. He's keeping well. He's had a lot of adventures, and that's cool to see. I thought we were your friends. You're my children, apparently. But it's a very weird feeling, and it's kind of hit a bit closer to home, because it's like, God, you know, I can't express just how much of them I watch. I've literally watched every single German 985 video. I've watched every single one. I found him in 2011. I have watched Kevin since he was on the Trending for Ireland category on YouTube when his username was ZX_no_regrets_ZX. Which was a very fucking different time. I have seen him since How to Annoy People on the now gone Machinima channel. I remember hearing about him when it's like, oh hey, I've opened like a CEX in Cork and shit. I followed him a very long time. You know? He regretted that name, ironically, ain't it? It's a hell of an internet name. You can't fault him as well. You can't fault him. Everyone has stupid fucking usernames on this platform. My username, RTGame, stands for Rumble Tumble Games. Because I thought I'd play more League of Legends back in the day. My main was Rumble. He has an animation where he tumbles out of a mech. That is embarrassing to share with you. But that's where everyone's usernames come from. It's some stupid, awful reason. You know, what the fuck is a Total Biscuit? You know? What is an OMFG Kata? What does that mean? Jesse Cox had to change his channel name. You know, everyone has stupid names on the internet. It's a rule of thumb. And you only realize that after the fact, it's like, oh no, I could have done this better. You just kind of hope you get a bit lucky and it's not too embarrassing. Ah, God. Who the fuck is a Matt Pat? Oh, Matthew Patrick. That one makes a bit more sense. That one makes a bit more sense. You know, that's not as bad. But it is a rule of thumb for the internet that if you have a stupid online username. So don't follow Kevin too much for like no regrets. You know, as an old channel name. Like, it was a different time and it's the rule of the internet, you know? It's a time-old ancient tradition. You know, we call him Kevin now. Jack's septic eye. Yeah, it's like, what's wrong with his eye? Why is it septic? What the fuck does that mean, you know? Don't think about it too hard. Don't think about it too hard. But yeah, like, I've been following these people a long ass time. I've watched them for so long. I remember specifically when it came to variety content and kind of working out what I want to do. Like, I remember it was in like a cafe I would go to, like near Ueno Park, and I would literally sit down with like a notepad and pen, and I would watch a lot of their videos, some of their favorite videos of mine. I would go back and watch them, and with a notepad and pen, I'd be like, okay, what do I really like about their videos? You know, what are like my favorite bits of these? And I would like literally take notes. Like, I remember one of the big things that struck out to me, it's like, hey, Germa's got a really honest kind of humor and presentation style, you know, where it's like very simple editing. I really like that, because I don't like a lot of fancy editing. I know for Kevin, it was like, hey, there's kind of like an honesty in his titles that's like really apparent, that it's like, that's actually really refreshing. This was when Kevin's titles were pretty much just like game name but this. And what you see is what you get. And it's a really honest, simple presentation style. And it just kind of lets his humor kind of come through. And I know at the time for my style on YouTube, if we cut back here, I was making some heavily scripted videos. The How to Really Play series kind of made me have this, like, these are like heavily scripted videos. Completely scripted. And I did that as kind of like an experiment. Say, hey, you know, I kind of really want to try that style of production value where it is scripted like that. I did not like that style of production. That was just too much for me. Because it didn't feel as natural. And something that I really respect a lot and really look up to again in Kevin, Germa, Kryken is it is very natural humor. You know, they're just guys joking about. You know, and it's like the fun and the comedy kind of comes from that. You know? And so when I was moving away from this heavily scripted style, and here's the video it fucking did, the little heart-to-heart regarding my TF2 content. That was like the big signpost for it. I knew I wanted it to be way more natural again, because what do I watch on YouTube? It's these guys and more natural style. Why am I not making videos like that myself is basically what I asked myself. So I had a notepad and pen, and I kind of just like took down things like, I really like this about it, you know? So that's why I devised even my title formats and shit. Like, Skyrim's a flawless masterpiece with no flaws whatsoever. That's where that kind of came from. This one was a really special one, this Half-Life 2 one. That was the first variety content video I edited, and that actually set the tone for everything else. It wasn't actually the Skyrim one that came first. But like this was hugely inspired by, again, those three creators in particular. And I remember taking notes and being like, hey, you know, this is what I really like. This is how I kind of want to present myself. This is the video I like on YouTube, you know? And it kind of comes from like an older era of YouTube, I think, as well, where it was more about that natural comedy and that. Like, you look at the big thing with these creators in particular is they have been around on YouTube a very long ass time. They come from an older time on the internet. You know, and I feel like now, and with shifts in YouTube in particular, there's been a definite shift in content that YouTube almost promotes, basically, which is a bit more inherently stressful, where it's a bit more in your face, punchier edits. You know, you gotta sell a bold premise to get people in. A flashy thumbnail and that, you know, you can't, it's not as simple as it was. But these lads came from an older time where that was how you kind of did it. And, you know, and of course content changes over time and you kind of evolve a bit and you adapt a bit. You know, you change things. Like, there's things that I do differently compared to like even 2018 here. But it's that older kind of style that like is really been taken to heart. And I know ever since I started Variety, it's like I've tried to maintain this style as much as I humanly can. And that influence is still there. YouTube Shorts, yeah, that's a whole other thing. I haven't dabbled in Shorts really because I don't know if it's really for me. I don't really watch YouTube Shorts or TikTok or anything. Dabbled with the idea. I might do a clip channel at some point, but not YouTube Shorts. Where it's just like, hey, you know, you just want to see the poop volcano erupt. There it is. You know, I might do something like that someday. Me and Chloe have kind of dabbled with that before. But yeah, it's different. It's different. And I think with a lot of the newer styles where it is just, it can be a bit more stressful. Because sometimes it's not so much about what you're actually doing, but it's how you present what you do. So like the substance or the content, if you will, the video or like what you want to do is secondary to the presentation of the title and the thumbnail. And it's like, that's a weird position to be in. Because on YouTube, you literally judge books by the cover, which is the one thing you're always told you're not supposed to do. But that's where we are now. And especially when everything's dictated by algorithms, because what else are you going to judge it by? There's just too much stuff happening. You know, and you have to be very mindful. That's kind of stressful. It's kind of stressful as a creator sometimes because, like, you could have something that you absolutely love. One of my favorite videos that Jacksepticeye has ever done, that is sadly, I don't think it's no longer on his channel. It's simply a book review of Dune. And he put it out, but I think he unlisted it. And I think he unlisted it just because it just it wasn't as much of a hook or a sell. And the man's just passionate about Dune. He's just talking about it. And that's a real shame. I remember seeing it come up. It's like, oh, that's really cool. And then it was gone. You know, I don't know if it's still there. I'll check. He did it. I think it was around the time I think the first one came out. Oh, he has actually relisted it. He has actually put it back up. Okay, that's good. That's a good feeling. It is back because I remember that blipping out of existence. I'm glad to see that. Yeah, it is actually back. I'm pretty like that blipped. I remember that blipping. Yep, so that's a good feeling. But like, it's just a man passionate about Dune. And that's fucking great. You know? It's not the most extreme kind of thing on YouTube, but like, it's just a man with a bit of heart and passion. You know? And because we're so bound by algorithms and stuff like that, how do you almost like kind of encourage just kind of keeping passion alive and compassion and the love alive when the passion and love is not necessarily what YouTube wants or even a lot of online spaces. What matters more is almost like your presentation style. You seem to almost be rewarded more for just how can you present an idea rather than what the idea actually is, you know, or how much heart or love has gone into it, which is kind of a shame. You know, but you could also say that's true of a lot of mediums and that, you know, you'll get big flashy films that maybe take the spotlight from other stuff that might deserve more attention. You know, that's just any artistic form. That's just kind of how it goes. you know? But I think it's all just a bit more personal, I think, on YouTube and Twitch because of how one-to-one the relationship is, where it's like, dude makes video, you watch video, you know, and like there's not any layers of that, so it's a way more personal experience. I think people feel that, you know. That's why even in the online sphere in particular, this whole concept of a parasocial relationship is something that kind of comes up about being a quite unhealthy thing. And, you know, it is an unhealthy thing to have parasocial relationships. But I also understand why they kind of happen in this space in particular, because it does feel way more fucking personal. Like, it just does. I think a lot less people are watching YouTube. People are, compared to 2020. More people would have been online just in 2020. You know, there was a lot of layoffs in kind of YouTube and Twitch and that started this year. Some of that is just fall-off effect from 2020 and hiring sprees, you know, when the world closed down. You're telling me you're not actually my dad. I am sorry. I am sorry to have to reveal this to you. I'm terribly sorry there. Yeah, I know this is devastating news. My life is a lie. We're adopted. No. I just been orphaned. Like, no. Oh, God. Nice try, April Fools was 2 weeks ago. You caught me. But yeah, like, because all of this to say, we've gone off on a few tangents there, maybe. But I kind of understand why a lot of people are taking a step back more from kind of just being forever present online. Really great to hear you talk about all this. Hey, thanks, Josh. No, good to see you. Hope you're well. I'm sure you'd have a lot to say on this too. Like, definitely, you know. We should have, like, just like a drinks night or something and just chat. Be good crack. You know, I know a lot of my creative friends kind of have, well, feel bits of this, you know. It's very relatable for anyone who's kind of in this sphere. And again, I hope by maybe just talking about this a bit and kind of sharing some of my own experiences, like, I hope people kind of understand why it's happening a bit more. And I think this year in particular, like, again, you look at like Matt Pat and Tom Scott, because I think those were really like the first really big ones this year. I know Jeremy's been talking about it a while, but like those ones hit quite hard when they happen. It's like, oh shit, they're taking a step back, you know? Soft retirement is the term that kind of floats a lot, where it's like not gone forever, but taking a step back. I hope this kind of helps folks maybe even understand why this is on a lot of people's brains in particular at the moment. And other people kind of announcing their soft retirement and stuff like that gets other people thinking, oh God, what do I want to do? You know, I'm going to die someday. What do I want to do for the rest of my days? Is this sustainable? Am I enjoying life right now? It kind of encourages you to have some self-reflection, which is really important. You know, and sometimes you just got to take that step back to kind of work on that. I am very thankful again for myself from doing this and kind of learning from folks. Particular Jacksepticeye, because he's talked about mental health so much on his channel and through the years. Like his update vlogs where he kind of just talks about where he's doing it, like some of the most important videos to me, because like it's quite a good creator, like a well-off creator on the site, you know. Man's done fucking amazing for himself through the years, but then even he recognizes just the importance of taking a step back. I think it's really important to kind of have someone as big as the man himself there to talk about these things. Tommy Kevin just announced he's taking a step back as well. No, he did. That's the thing. That's the thing. He has just announced he's just taking a step back, you know. He's not retiring, you know. He's just taking a bit of a step back. But more and more people are just like, I'm taking a step back. I'm taking more of a step back. You know, so that's why we're kind of talking about it. And just kind of, it's hitting a bit closer to home now. When it's like the people taking a step back are the ones where it's like, those are the ones I watch all the time. You know? Will you watch paint dry when you're retired? I like Jerma's idea for him being retired now, where it's like he's gonna do like retirement home things. Like he had a stream where he just made a jigsaw. Like, that's great. You know, like I hope we get a bingo stream with Jerma soon. Like that'd be really fun. Or it's like just Jerma making dinner or something, you know, like living for that kind of content, you know. He's treating it as if he was retired. Jerma's gonna mow his lawn, the stream, you know, like fuck it, let's go. I'm all for it. Old ma. Oh no. Obviously in the title you say you aren't leaving, but do you plan on taking a bit of a step back? The thing is, like, no, not really. That's the thing. Like, I'm really not retiring, and it's like I'm not thinking about that. I've got so much shit I want to do, like genuinely. There's more stuff I've wanted to do this year already, but like I've had to take a step back, mainly for like physical and mental health reasons. I've unfortunately been having a bit of trouble this year, but I'm doing okay, and I'm still here. You know, we're good. So don't worry about me there. You see me, I'm doing well. We managed there. Thanks to the well wishes there too. I've talked about that. Like, I know one thing this year lately, I've been on like a bit of a floatier stream schedule. Streams have been a bit more sporadic, and I've just had to do that for my own sake. But I'm still here, I'm still streaming, you know, it's just a bit less to the schedule as I would usually try to keep, if that makes sense. So I take a step back in the sense that, like, if I'm really not feeling well, or like I'm a bit under the weather, I'm like, listen, I'm just off today. Might see you tomorrow, you know. And I try and keep people in the loop as much as I can. The system I've got that I think that I really like is I have an RTGame notice channel on my Discord server. Assume I'm always sticking to my regular schedule unless there's notice posted in there. And whenever that schedule changes, I'm just like, hey, put out a notice here, and you just check the log there. You know, if you're ever like, oh, hey, why didn't you stream today? I've checked that channel. I've almost always posted, you know? And that's just kind of how I treat things. So I don't really, I'm not taking too much of a step back. I'll just give myself the day, if that makes sense. And that's how I try and do things. Because there genuinely is just a lot I want to do. Talking about something that might be on the horizon soon, that I've been wanting to do for a while, and we might be looking at after we wrap up Minecraft things. There's a few more things I want to do in Minecraft, but I've really been itching to dive into a Fallout game. And I feel like even with the TV series and that coming out now, it's like, fuck, might be a fun time to kind of revisit Fallout. I've had that on the brain for a while, and like New Vegas is one of my favorite games of all time. I love Fallout 4 as well. I actually really like those two. I haven't decided which one. But that could be really fun. You know, that could just be really fun. Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to that. Which one, if you know? Yeah, I don't know. That's the thing. New Vegas is my favorite one, but I also really like Fallout 4, and I don't know how many people even remember Fallout 4. You know, it's a bit of an oddball one. It's like a good action shooter, not necessarily an RPG game. Weird thing with weirdness happening with that. There's a Fallout London mod that's apparently coming out soon, which seems really cool. It seems really cool. But yeah, so I don't really feel the need to kind of like change how we've been doing things, because I feel like we've already kind of changed how we do things here in more recent years, where it's about giving that kind of space. And you kind of notice that like ever since 2020 and the daily uploads, where it's like, I mean, it's even 2021. I think what changed it, and this was kind of like a healthier change. I like to think it's healthy for myself and Chloe here, but like ever since we did more long form content, there's been a sense of like when a long form video goes out, you know, that can just kind of be up a while, you know, and I don't really need to worry about the next thing for a while. And it's like, it's less stressful too, kind of going through like individual streams, because it's just like, okay, I'm just kind of doing what I want to do, and then we'll kind of try and like put something together later. And so it's like I get to kind of just in the moment focus on having fun on streams, and then we get something cool come the end of it to kind of mark those streams. It's like a gathering of clips. And I like that because that has definitely like that's forcibly changed the schedule of like the more regularity of videos, because you know, like we're not gonna make like a 2-hour video every day, because who's fucking got time for that, you know? Like that's just too much. That's just too much, you know? You know, you gotta space that shit. So that's like forcibly kind of changed the schedule by like, okay, there's a big boy video, you know, and it's like, that's up for the week, go have fun, go enjoy it. And we love putting together those videos. I actually love working on the long form stuff too. I'm glad, Chloe. No, genuinely. I love working on it as well. Like, it's so much fun to kind of see come together. Being able to put out a video and not worry for a period of time has been immensely positive for my mental health. I'm really glad to hear that, Josh, yeah. Because there is a kind of peace of mind where it's like, okay, I've got something up there, you know, so now I can take a little bit of time for myself and just not worry the next while. I get that too. Like I imagine it's just so much more stressful for like folks who put that pressure and expectation on themselves. Was like, I gotta do daily uploads. I gotta go daily. Because that's just fucking rough. I remember, Jesus, we had a chat with the lads in like 2020. And there was a time where I remember we were just all hanging out and call. And like we were chatting to Kevin, and it was like, Kevin, my man, like you're doing fucking daily uploads and streaming 4 times a week, and like looking at launch and like second channel shit. Like where the fuck do you find the time? Like the man was just like, oh, like is impressive just like how much he was doing, but like we were just all kind of chill. It's like, how the fuck are you managing this? That seems like way too much. You know, and he did take a step back from that as well, which, you know, good to see, because that was a lot. That was a lot, you know? You know, but like, I'm glad, and I'm actually proud of a lot of my friends, like, more recent years too, to just kind of recognize that, where it's like, hey, you know, I've actually kind of got to be kind to myself in life, you know, I'm gonna die someday. Maybe I shouldn't, like, torture myself with stress or pressure or expectation. Because I think you have to do that in this kind of job. You have to. And I keep saying it's a job and it's work and that. It's like, God, he sounds miserable. I absolutely love what I do. Everyone in, I think in this industry, like, kind of really loves what they do. It is so much fun. It is a passion project. It is a labor of love. But there is a bit of labor that goes into it. And you have to recognize that, I think, sometimes. You know, like you have to acknowledge that there's a bit of work, and sometimes it's okay to take a step back. You know, like I think it's important to recognize that even for the things you love, it's okay to take a bit of a disconnect, because that's how you keep the love alive. You don't like trap yourself and force yourself into loving it. You know, it's nice seeing the past decade moving away from daily uploads. That is really nice to see, and that has been a definite like kind of new development on YouTube, where like, yes, that's actually a very good positive change. There's still some folks that do it. I fucking don't know how, but you know, everyone's different there. I think more people are kind of having a much healthier mindset about it, and like they're kind of being forced to have a healthier mindset about granted, they are kind of being forced to kind of think about that. It's still good to think about. I think more people are just kind of having that chat. And again, some quite noticeable folks leaving the scene has kind of had a domino effect of everyone kind of thinking about, hey, where am I going to be in 5 years? What's the plan? You know, or it's like, hey, you know, is this sustainable? Am I being kind to myself? You know, do I plan to get exercise? Pressing question for us all. Kevin had a thing in his video where he has a little song at the end, where it's like, I think the line is, I used to feel hurty, but now I'm 30. And it's like, it's kind of like a thing. It's like, oh, I gotta actually kind of think about physical health there. I was hurty, but now I'm 30. That's it. Yep. And that's a powerful sentiment right there, you know? Lovely little song. Lovely little song. But, you know, stuff like that. It's like, you really do have to think about that shit, you know, as you go on in life. And again, like, I'm weirdly, I am quite thankful that, like, I've had some folks that I've been able to look up to and kind of recognize some of these things, the kind of positive lifestyle changes they've made through the years. Again, a big one I keep mentioning is Jacksepticeye, and it's because of things like how he just takes time off when he needs to. And he's very open about that, where it's like, I am taking a break, I will see you later. Stuff like that I've had ingrained to me is like, this is a really good thing to do, and this is something you should adopt. I am thankful for that experience. And I think more people are now copping on to things like that. It's like, huh, that does lead to a healthier mindset, you know? To be honest, making sure you're healthy is top priority. Also, what happened to Etiquette, how much of a decline he was in. Yeah, I mean, the mental health and that can be very shaky on the internet, especially when you have, like, a court of public opinion in front of you, or, you know, like, just a lot of people who can just wear away at you and tear you down easily, you know? You gotta keep your mental health and shit in check. You know, it's really fucking important, you know? We don't want more tragedies like that, you know? It is really important shit. You know, something I always recommend for you, especially so if you're in this sphere. When's the last time you had a therapist? When's the last time you had therapy? Just saying. Just saying. The godsend. You need it. You need it, you know? If your leg was hurting a while, you wouldn't just ignore the doctor. You gotta go get the leg sorted. Same way for the brain. You gotta go get it sorted. You should have someone take a look at it. Might be a bit nicer, you know? You know, you gotta do something. 3 things as well to immediately improve your mental health. Are you dehydrated? Are you hungry? Have you slept? Do those things first. Oftentimes it will improve your mood. That's like very basic ones. Get those just out of the way. You know, that helps too. And you gotta like remind yourself that shit sometimes, you know? It's 1:30 a.m. What's your point? I know, look, you can stay up late, but as long as you get sleep. I stay up till 3 a.m. every night, but I get up at 11. And that's how I structure my day. It's because I stream a lot of evenings, and I like to have a bit of wind down after those evening streams. But that's how I structure my day. There's nothing wrong with that. No, I get 8 hours sleep. Dan, that's not good. It's fine. There's not much wrong with that. I structure my day. I get 8 hours sleep every night. You know, and I get up like in the afternoon. I try and get outside and that. Even when I do a weekend streams where it's early in the day, I try and get out a bit before those streams so I get some fresh air and exercise. You know, as long as you have a routine, you stick to it, it's fine. You know, people who work night shifts, you know, they'll be going to bed at like, you know, 10 in the morning and waking up at 6. And that's fine too. As long as like you have a routine. That one's maybe a little bit different because you're missing out some quite valuable sunlight, and that can be a bit taxing sometimes too. Make sure you get out in the sun. But you know, as long as you have a routine, you stick to it. That's the main thing. I feel super old saying this, but I also found it super important to get my daily steps. It is super important. We are very old, but it is. Yo, just moving a bit. I try and make sure every day I get a bit of fresh air and at least go for a walk, bit minimum, you know, because I feel better. You know, and it's like, if I have days like, God, I'm feeling really depressed today, it's like, okay. Like, well, you haven't gone outside today yet. You didn't eat the last 9 hours. You skipped all your food. You know, when's the last time you had a glass of water? It's like, oh yeah, that's probably why I'm sad. You know, and you have to kind of try and look at it sometimes even like that. The therapy is still good too. Don't diss that one, especially if you're in the content creation space. You kind of need that, you know? It's like, we have, like, again, something a way my therapist has put it is like, we've evolved to survive with a sense of community, but never has that community been literally millions of people online. You know, which is a really important reminder for things like social media and that, where it's like inherently we are not adapted or equipped to survive that scenario. It's about winning a community, and a community will be a much smaller group or subset, and now it's the entire fucking planet. And it's like, that's just stressful. You know, and it's like, for a job like this, you are working in that larger community and that, so you have to kind of distance yourself sometimes. And again, for a lot of folks, it's about taking that step back. You know? It's like, especially if you're creating that, like, hey, you know, I want to have kids and shit, you know, you got to think about stuff like that. So I was like, okay, well, what does that look like when, you know, I'm spending 10 hours a day making videos on the internet? It's going to be kind of rough, you know? One creator that I know that is kind of like, I mean, I'm always like mad impressed is like Northern Lion. Because I know he streams a lot, but like, you know, he also like, he'll have streams so it's just like, okay, I got to go pick up my kid and he's gone. And like, that's really fucking responsible, you know? He knows his priority in life. And it's like, I know Strippin' and Dodger as well, you know, like they have so much that they do, and like they kind of even juggle things between them. And they have their priority kind of set, and like they kind of recognize, hey, there's a very clear disconnect between being online all the time and what's actually important in life, you know, like important shit. Northline is my life role model for better or for worse. He's great. Cracking Balatro stream slightly from the man. Would recommend. Why are you red? I've got a red shirt. I'm not red, am I? The lighting's a bit weird sometimes. I'm a very pasty man. I'm Irish Canadian. I do step outside, believe it or not. It's a little pink today. Yeah, I should be alright. I should be alright. It is a bit hot in here. I am tempted to take off this dress shirt, but I kind of like how I look on camera with it. And I'm a stubborn man. Nothing wrong with a bit of sweat. Sweat check. Oh god, we okay? Yo. No, we're not okay. Okay, time to keep my arms low. We're not okay. We've had a bit of the... We failed the sweat check. Uh-oh. The little arm. The little arm. Maybe let's crack open a window here. Let's, Got a little more air. We have not passed the sweat check. That is embarrassing. I'm so sorry. He's a sweaty boy. Ah. Does the t-shirt have a pattern? Let us see. It is like a Breath of the Wild shirt. See? Speak a slate. Ah. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff just kind of talking about Twitch and YouTube. Yeah, I've been trying to read chat as I go and just kind of seeing what some folks are saying and kind of contribute. And it's good to see people just like on the ball about like especially mental health and stuff like that, because like it's so crucially important now, you know. Even in recent years, it's kind of like a thing that society at large is very much a changed outlook to. I've talked about it on like Dr. K's stream before, where it's like the outlook in Ireland for a while is just, you know, just not great, you know, and we just like, you know, just tough it out. Like Abby Grand rather than, hey, you know, I need some way to actually kind of express the sadness I'm dealing with. And I think 2020 in particular kind of forced a lot of importance on that, because like, wow, now everyone's depressed, you know? And dealing with shit. Only the platforms were the reason mental health consciousness was so important. Well, but it's more than just kind of talking about it online now. It's like people feel it in like the real world more because, again, like, I mean, everyone was depressed in 2020, basically. You feel you were happier when you got comfortable having your face on stream and in the YouTube videos more. I'm still real scared at the idea of it personally. This has been an amazing chat to hear from someone I look up to. Are you way too kind? Yes, I feel a lot more comfortable. I could talk a lot about that too in mental health, I think. Because I used to not show my face at all on this channel. And we've also got other things too for when I still don't feel like showing my face. Like, hello, it's PNG Tuber me. This is here for when I feel like kind of talk in the chat more, but I don't feel like being on camera. And it's really nice to have the option of the two. Shout out to Shenpai, she did an amazing job on that. I won't have it on here just because it's going to be a bit confusing if we're both talking at the same time. No, I used to be very camera shy. And I had a lot of trouble with my appearance online myself through the years. I don't anymore. I'm really okay being on camera. I fucking had like a Princess Daisy dress on in the heart of Dublin City. I'm doing good, I'd like to think. I killed that dress. I've come a long way because especially showing my face online was a really hard thing for me. Back in it would have been 2016, I did my face reveal. And my teeth weren't always as they are. I had more pronounced canines than that, and you know, they're a bit all over the shop, you know, before. And I remember when I did a face reveal, that was when I realized I don't like how I look. Which is a sad thing to admit, but it's true. It was specifically when I revealed my face, and it was because I lost more subscribers than I ever had in my entire life, specifically because I showed my face online. Some of the comments I remember standing as, can we get an unface reveal, please? Can you put it away? God, I regret asking for this. And I remember that. And I've had to talk about that in therapy a shitload. It was really fucked. This is a long time ago. The reason I specifically got braces was because of that response. and just being uncomfortable with it. And I remember even when I started to do variety content, it took me a long time to show my face again, and it was because of what happened before. I didn't really show my face in variety content until summer 2019. What was it then? It was the Just Dance one, where it was like me and Kevin having our rivalry. It was the Just Dance one where I showed my face again, but even then, I was very particular when I showed my face. Very particular. But I went and got braces. It came around, and now joke's on all those fuckers because I have great teeth. Like, joke's on you. You're still an asshole, but my teeth are fixed. You know? And it's like, that has done wonders for my confidence. You know, and I'm very happy with my smile. I actually smile in pictures now. And you may have even, like, spotted before, like, my Twitter profile picture. It was me smiling, but you couldn't see my teeth. Even that was why. Like, this is a very long thing for me. You know? But since getting the braces off, you know, like, I've kind of been, hey, you know, I'm way more confident about that. You know, and I wish, in retrospect, kind of get back to your query there about being shy about showing your face. I wish, in retrospect, I just didn't let it get to me. You know, because I think that people were just assholes, and for every asshole, there was like 10 people being nice and saying nice things, and calling out the assholes and stuff like that. It unfortunately still got to me, you know? But I'm glad, and I'm so much happier now that I feel more comfortable to show my face on stream and in just content. And I wish I did it sooner. And I wish I didn't have that experience that kind of punched me in the gut very early on. I wish I did it sooner. I wish I did it more, because it's fun and it's nice to be able to chat to you, you know? I hope that helps a bit. Like, for now, like especially like these days, like I'm really comfortable just kind of showing my face. It was scary. I did have a bad experience, but not everyone has a bad experience, and it's something I'd always recommend, especially with how comfortable I am now with it. That's a really good fucking feeling. And, you know, and for that feeling, I recommend it, you know? It's always about doing what you're comfortable with, you know, in the moment. I think that is the most important thing. And there's no one way to do it, kind of being online. You know, you don't even have to use a camera in that. I mean, like, look at Germa, who's, like, offline half the time, well, like, not showing his face. Look at Kiwo. You know, he's been streaming literally for, like over 10 years. And, you know, is just not on camera for her streams and that, because that's what she's comfortable with. You can do it that way, too. You know, so if you feel comfortable like that, don't also feel pressure to show your face. You don't have to. But I know for me, it's done wonders for my kind of own, like, kind of self-image and confidence to be able to show my face. It means a lot, you know? Going from feeling terrible about your face reveal to putting yourself out for the green screen movies is crazy growth, though. You should be proud. Thank you, yeah. Yeah, I mean, not even that, like... Princess Daisy dress in the heart of Dublin City. There was a lot of people looking at me. But it was great. And I remember even, like, after recording that, like, the main takeaway was like, God, that wasn't as scary as I thought it would be. It just wasn't. It was fine. I got a lot of nice compliments as I was going through the streets and that too. I was like, oh, thank you. You know? But I'm glad I'm able to do that. Even the green screen footage and that, I'm glad I've been able to do that. Because, like, that's been so much fun. You know? And, like, me of, like, you know, 8 or so years ago would not have been able to do that. You know, I'm way more confident now, which I'm thankful for, you know, and I wish I kind of showed my face a bit more in that, you know, and I wish I just didn't let people get to me, because even now, since fixing my teeth, like, there's still some people that's like, you know, yeah, you look a bit weird, your nose is weird. It's like, hey, fuck you, buddy. You know, like, that's just my response to it now. Like, before, I would be like, oh, gee, I'm sorry, I can't help that, you know. It's like, no, you're an asshole, you know, like, I've just kind of accepted that, you know? Like, go fuck yourself, you know? I'm just more like, I don't give a shit about what you think, and neither do most people here. You know? You just tell it to them as it is. That's just what you gotta do, you know? People be like that, they are assholes. Like... The amount of YouTubes these people are. Yeah, I mean, they are just assholes. And assholes are everywhere. Assholes exist everywhere, unfortunately, you know? But we have a few more of them on the internet just because you can remain a bit anonymous. You know, you can cover your tracks and they'll say things there that they're too scared and cowardly to say IRL. You know, it's just being anonymous. Sometimes it's just a case of they're just raging at the TV a bit and, you know, they don't really mean it. You have to filter stuff like that too. That's important. You know, sometimes you yell at the sports game. Everyone does it. There's no real shame in that. It's just different online because, you know, if you yell at the football player and then the football player is just like, hey, you know, it'd be a bit different. They can't hear you. It's different. Sometimes it's just a bit of projection, yeah. Sometimes you just get a bit frustrated and it's just like, ah. You know, but it's different online because, you know, we hear the yelling and then we have to kind of process that. And it's just not nice to be yelled at, you know? It never is. Right, you know, you learn to deal with it being online. Like, you have to. You kind of have to. I used to want to stream, but I have zero confidence in my voice. That changes with time and experience. I had no confidence in my voice too when I started. I used to hate the sound of my voice. Got picked on in school for the sound of my voice because I didn't really have a proper Irish accent. I sound a bit weird to like Dublin accent and stuff like that. Big thing that did wonders for my voice was simply hearing it. Through the years, I became more confident in that because, hey, I'm doing YouTube now and I have to listen to myself quite a bit, you know? I'm like intimately aware of how I sound because I have to listen to clips and play things back a lot now. And I actually really like my voice now. I think I got quite blessed and lucky with my accent. I think it's a nice voice. I'd like to think. You know, but I think that takes time because I think most people, it's a case of you're not familiar to what your voice sounds like. And because of that, it's like, oh, well, that's a bit uncanny hearing myself. Because when you speak, you sound different to how you actually sound, and other people hear you. And there is a disconnect. So it's a bit of uncanniness. So it's like, oh, and I don't like that, because it's different. Over time, when you hear your voice more, hope you can learn to love your voice, you know, because you should. It's your voice. No one sounds quite like you. And that's a thing that should be celebrated. It's the same with seeing your reflection versus seeing a photo. That one, like, I still even struggle with. Like, if I can just, like, just hold up this. This is mirrored. Like, for me, it feels more natural to see myself on camera as I would in the mirror. Because when it's flipped, it's like, oh, that's kind of weird. So I just, like, do that on stream. So, like, I'm just mirrored, and you're seeing the mirror reflection that I see. That just feels more normal to me. That's why I always flip it. It's a lie. I'm sorry I deceived you. This is my right hand. But, you know, it's fine as well. It doesn't really affect anything for me to flip it like that. Dan lives in the mirror realm. I've deceived you all. You're mirror Dan. Oh, God. Next April Fools, flip the camera and don't say a word. Nah, that just makes me uncomfortable. I'm not about that life. I'm not about that. Oh, God. Like front and back camera on the phone, it is. Yeah, it's the same feeling. Good seeing yourself regularly, not flipped, to get used to seeing yourself how others see you. I know you're right, but I also like looking this direction towards chat. And so if I was to flip that back, then you're gonna see me like looking this way as if my back was to you. You know, I'd have to flip everything. And you know, and I like just being on this side of the screen. He's ignoring us. Like that's how it feels. Like, look, I can even do it now, right? Like, it's like, I'm just looking away. It's just not right, is it? It's just not right. Like, that's what I mean. That's why I just, like, you know, it's just easier to flip this. It's just easier. He's not interested in chat. I'd have to change everything over, you know? And I'm just like, I kind of like it the way it is already. Dying from no attention for 2 seconds. Evil RT faces to the right. Oh, God. That's very funny. Reverse chat backwards, too. Please don't ignore us. That was Emma GTR. Emma GTR. A mag TR. Like, oh no, not that guy. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, we've been talking a lot here. Yeah. What do you make of all that, chat? I hope some of what I've said here kind of like some of you can relate to, you know, helps kind of understand what's maybe going on, like kind of the mindset of this more. I talked about it on Twitter a bit where it's like, you know, I feel like I could have a good chat about this. And I'm kind of glad, like, even having this stream now to just talk about it. Maybe relieve a bit of anxiety even for myself. Like, you know, I'm really not going anywhere. You know, I know it's like a trend. I even joke about it. Like, hey, I know it's the popular thing to do to retire now or take a step back. You know, that's just me kind of joking about it. Like, you know, I'm like, I very much understand why people are taking the step back. And I hope maybe this kind of helps bring some insight to it and a bit of understanding. Again, from someone who I almost did take the complete step back before, / retirement, and has also done this 13 years. Like, again, I've been here since I was 16 years old. I'm 29 now, as of yesterday. My birthday then. How do you have the confidence to figure yourself out so openly? I mean, I'm always figuring, you know, we're all always figuring ourselves out. I just like to kind of share some of that just because I think it's kind of important. And, you know, if it can help other people with figuring shit out for themselves, then it's worth sharing, you know? I think that's important. I noticed some things like I've touched on where it's like, hey, reminder you're gonna die. I always only mean that in a good way. Hey, just mean this in a nice way. You're gonna die someday. Make sure you spend your time doing the shit you love and you enjoy and don't torture yourself too much. I mean it in a nice way. I always mean that in a nice way. And like when I say it to myself, I mean it in a nice way. It actually helps me because it kind of grounds me, puts things into perspective, you know? I think that is important. For me, it's like an easy way of doing it because I am going to die someday, you know? I cannot debate that fact. Unless the Walmart metaverse is like a reality, you know? But, you know, I might miss the ship for the Walmart metaverse. I might not get uploaded. It kind of helps me kind of keep things in perspective and be like, okay, you know, life's about living. You know, and here's like even something for myself where it's like, because I have like a few things that like big things like I really want to spend most of my time in life doing. The channel is one. You know, like doing all this is one of the big ones. Traveling is my other one. I'm very thankful for a lot of my travel opportunities I've had even directly through doing this, you know, like conventions and stuff. So it's like, hey, you know, you get to see like Vegas and like we're here for TwitchCon. I'm very thankful to have a lot of those opportunities. Writing is another one. I love writing. I've been slacking on it, as most writers would be familiar with. But I really enjoy writing and just like kind of like just little pieces and stuff like that. It's a huge pastime for me. It's really important. Shout out to my background in English literature and all that jazz. I really enjoy that. The other one that I still want to do before I'm dead is I want to learn an instrument. I really want to learn to play piano. That's one I've really not started on or made much headway on. You know, just life's been a bit of a mess, as it often is. But we get there. And there still comes a point where it's like, I really want to learn that. I would like to have a bit of musical talent. I would like to spend time doing this because it's something that brings me a lot of joy. And I just want to be able to do. And like, so like, that's like something I'm kind of like more working towards. But hey, we're two for four at the moment, and kind of like living in the moment for like figuring out the life balance, which is like, hey, that's pretty fucking good, you know? Like, I'm pretty happy with that, and I'm trying to work more on the other two to kind of get them more prominent in my life. And it takes time, you know. There's just a lot of stuff happening. Talk about something that's happening next month when we get there. It's quite big, and you will definitely see. Need to learn the drive. That for me, that's kind of just like a different thing. That's like, yeah, I just gotta do that at some point. I just gotta do that. Like, I've no excuse. I just gotta learn the drive. You know, it's just important skill to have. Would be nice. Drift King can't drive. It's a bit of a joke, you know. Been spoiled most of my life for having access to public transport. But it's also important to recognize, hey, there's some places where you just don't got a train line. You might want this, you know. Good luck getting a test booked in, all packed. Yeah, it's fucking awful in Ireland at the moment for the tests. My brother's been waiting a long ass time, even for his. Oh, God. Can't wait for Dan to drift in public. Strictly speaking, I don't know how much you're supposed to drift in your car on a day-to-day basis. I have actually drifted in go-karting, though, and that was really fun. And I got to cut, like, some cheeky corners in that. I only span off the track once, but I was fine. Like, not a little, yeah. You're doing like a sick power slide in like Dublin City, like you're gonna be fucking arrested, you know? You're not supposed to do that. Drive responsibly. Shit's dangerous. Oh god. Carl Dot, thank you for the 300 bits. Trying to find my confidence and independence slightly. Love to make music, but I sit on 95% of the stuff I make because I want to be perfect. So I end up never releasing a lot of my stuff and hold myself back. I think I'm too comfortable in my shell and change scares me. Gearing up for therapy. I hope the therapy goes well. Good luck with the music. Yeah, I mean, that's very much a feeling. I kind of get that, where it's like, it's something like a passion project. It's like, God, it's got to be perfect. You know, and it's hard to kind of release because like you kind of doubt it and criticize it yourself. I don't know if this helps. But this is like advice that always helped me when I got stuck in a rut. And again, I mean this in a nice way. It will never be perfect. So just release it when you think you're ready. I think that's a better way to look at it, because I think we can just try and like tinker away and keep adding bits and adjusting bits forever and ever and ever and ever. And at some point, you just got to get it out there. You know? And like, this is the best I've done. Here it is, and be proud. You know? I think that's important. Because otherwise it is a feeling of paralysis. And like, I've had that before with like some old videos I worked on, where it's just like, God, I don't know about this bit. But it's like, no, it's good. Take a step back, look at it. This is good. I like this. It's kind of hard because we're all hard on ourselves. Unfortunately, our human brains are not wired too well, that we all have a bit of a tendency to hate ourselves. It's unfortunate, but what you gonna do? Do our best. You know, but I hope that helps in some capacity. It will never be perfect, but release it anyway. You know, that's advice that worked for me. Be scared, do it anyway. Important. Musicians in chat unite. There's a fair few of you today. Everyone's getting a band together, apparently. Cool to see. It's so interesting the human brain is wired to hate itself and sometimes want itself dead. Like, what went wrong? So, no, so, like, there is, like, a weird bit of a basis for it, where it's, like, it's survival instinct. Because, you know, we've evolved in such a way to kind of learn coping and survival mechanisms. And I think some of it kind of gets rewired, where our brains have developed in a way where the basic instinct things is like, hey, you know, like, me hungry, me need water, me need sleep. And once you start meeting more and more of the basic needs, the brain almost gets into a panic, because it's like, well, there's gotta be something wrong. You know? So you find something. And that becomes like, oh, I'm surviving against this. you know? Even if it's not as present as you think it is, our brains are wired that way. It's like, it's survival, it's coping mechanisms that you learn over time. It's how we've literally evolved to survive, you know? Always prepared for the worst. And sometimes that just gives you anxiety, you know? Never thought about it like that. I mean, I hadn't either, in fairness, but like, that's how my therapist explains stuff like that. Especially for like, you know, like us being social creatures, because we are. That's how we evolved to where we are. You know, we had like the idea of a community, and our idea of a community was much stronger than everyone else, basically, and that's how we spread ourselves and, you know, like took over the planet, basically. You know, it was the coming together of people. That's why it's always a bad idea to isolate yourself, because like your brain ain't wired for that. At the same time, your brain ain't wired to be interacting with a million people on a daily basis. You know, so you gotta kind of limit the flow a bit. Like, social media can be kind of toxic in that regard, because it's like the entire world is talking. It's like, you know, you don't always need to talk to the entire world. You gotta limit that a bit. When is the software update to fix that bug in my brain? We're still working on it, unfortunately, you know. Yo, Bill Gates, I hear he's doing something great with microchips in the brain. Remember when that was all the people were talking about, just how, like, unhinged it all was? That was weird. 2020 was weird. A lot of weird, like, we gotta explain what's happening. The 5G will infect us. That was another one. Like, what the fuck was going on with that? God, I just want better internet. Why are we tearing down satellites now? That was weird. That was weird. I mean, people struggle to cope. 2020, man. I don't know. People were really bored. Oh, God. I'm autistic, so I'm happiest with a very minimal social circle, and it's been interesting realizing how much less socialization I need than holistic people. I mean, like, yeah, everyone is different there, you know? Like, I know for myself, because I have, again, this is always quite ironic considering the career that I am in. I have quite bad social anxiety. You know? Hello to like the 3,000 of you in chat. It doesn't really affect me when I'm online. It's not really a thing when I'm doing this. You know, it feels like kind of quite liberating when I can do stuff like this. But in person, I have like a cutoff point for like the crowd size. I can only handle so many people in like the space or the room. And once it gets past that point, I'm an anxious mess. And so, you know, I'm quite like deliberate with that, where it's like, hey, you know, like I can't handle hanging out with 10 people at once. You know, but 4 of you in a room, it's fine. You know, and like so I have like a cutoff point where it's like, this is my limit, you know, and it's getting a bit busy. I'm gonna leave you to it, you know. Online, like, again, it's quite ironic considering that like I'm in a very public kind of spotlight profession and like career and that, and I'm here. You know, it is quite ironic, but like I don't really get it as much online. Like I just don't, because I think this is kind of like there's a disconnect between me and kind of the monitor. That it just kind of negates my social anxiety, you know. Like I don't really get it, and I'm thankful for that too, you know. I'm really shit at one-on-one interactions. Like everyone is different for that, yeah. I'm really good on one-on-one in particular. But like it's large crowds, it's like, oh, I'm having a bit of trouble now, you know? So I kind of need like a cozy little gang. And like I have a limit. Mirror Dan takes over when you're online. Mirror Dan. It's like, no. Sounds like such an antagonist. Like, no, it's Mirror Dan. He's in trouble. Evil RT. They did not used to call me the Drift King back in college. Like, oh no! It's not him today! You have to look for the tells. Kevin did say you're a villain, it's true. We have Darkiplier, Antiseptic Guy. I never heard of Darkiplier. It's very funny. Evil Markiplier. Oh no. Was that the bite of 78? It's just not the same. Just not the same. I've never heard of that. That's funny. Very funny. Evil RT is an absent fodder. No, Evil RT would be a present fodder, let's be real. Oh, God. Because that was the mirror. Oh, God, he drives safely and doesn't drift. He used to call me the responsible driving king back in college. Bloody hell. Yeah, I hope me talking about some of this has been kind of like, I mean, I see a fair few creator friends even in chat. I hope it's been relatable for some of you. You're never alone, you know? But I hope it's kind of shed a bit of light on just some of this and why in particular it's kind of coming up this year. You know, because it's kind of like everyone's kind of thinking about it. And again, I always think back to stuff like again, I mentioned Jacob Geller towards the start of this talk, where like he's literally just physically printing his video essays, and I can't wait to get that as well. Like, by the way, like I'm not endorsed at all, but like I'm so fucking excited for his book. He's got a fucking vinyl that comes with it, and it's of the original music in the background of his essays, and they're literally just releasing it with it. It was just like really fucking cool shit. You know, like just as someone who really loves his content. So it's like, okay, now I can actually hold on to the music from his videos too. Like he's going the extra mile. Because he's just thinking about, hey, you know, it could all end tomorrow. We don't know. I like to think it won't, because I kind of have a philosophy when it comes to content, and I've talked about this before, but for me making content, I always want to make stuff that in 10 years time, users still gonna like and users still gonna want to watch. And that's ambitious. I kind of completely recognize that. But ever since starting Variety, that's kind of how I've tried to look at my content, where it's like, I really just want this to be stuff that's like years later, you're still gonna want to watch, and it's not just dated, or it's like, you know, it's not just gonna be like, oh God, no, I don't want to like look back at it anymore, like be like how it was when I was 16 years old, where it's like, ooh, I don't know if I could watch that anymore. I think me doing content as long as I have has kind of helped in that regard, because I've had that experience. You know, I went from 2011 to 2018, and I can't watch my early shit because like, oh, that's kind of embarrassing. You know, it's just not for me. But by that point, by 2018, I kind of found myself a bit more. I'm growing more confident. Okay, I know what I want to do. And I want to be able to watch this again a year from now and not kind of cringe and die. You know? So that's how I've kind of tried to look at stuff. And I realize even with that plan, why I mentioned the Jacob Geller video is because his philosophy to it, where it's like, it could just end, has really got me thinking about stuff like that. Because, God, what if it does? You know, it's like, because I want people to be able to go back and watch his content, but what if you physically can't? You know, and that's kind of a scary thing to even think about. What if it is just gone and the content's unavailable? YouTube could just explode, you know? And like, thankfully, I mean, I personally don't think YouTube's going to be going anywhere anytime soon. I think, like, for numerous reasons compared to other online platforms in particular, it's like, YouTube is finally profitable. It has not been for a very long time, but it's also fronted by Google. It's fronted by Google, which is very significant because Google is very profitable. You know, these platforms are very expensive. One platform I would worry about is Twitch. Twitch is not profitable as a platform, and they're kind of trying to get there still. They've been making strides lately, Like, definitely, for sure. But Twitch has had a lot of trouble there, you know? And there comes a point where it's like, hey, you know, we have to pay the expenses, you know? And it's like, I think YouTube has a lot of staying power in that regard, because YouTube it's nearly 20 years old, but it's actually finally profitable, which is actually very significant. It means that it can actually support and sustain itself because of the time to develop the infrastructure to support and sustain itself, you know? It's very, I think that's quite significant, and that's why it's like, I'm kind of thankful for it, in particular with YouTube, because I think YouTube will be around a while yet. But I still think about that in the back of my mind. It's like, okay, what if it's not? You know, what if it did go? And part of that is why I'm on like YouTube and Twitch. I like being spread out, because it's like, hey, if something did happen, I'm still here and this still goes on, you know? It's not all over. 2 bad things happened, and it's like, okay, we're in a bit of trouble now, you know? 2 things back to back, it's like, that's unfortunate. But, you know, it's better than just one thing happening, and it's like, well, see you later, you know? TikTok when? I'm not a TikToker. I'm not a TikToker. You think you might start the stream on YouTube? I have seriously thought about it. Numerous times. Like 2023, I was actually really looking at it. But then we had the fucking issue at the start of the year with the best of. And that completely fucking derailed the plans. Because it's like, okay, I don't want to stream here now, because that's gonna be bad, because like this was like a disastrous thing that's happened, and it took a long time to even get resolved, you know? That's why we say YouTube to censor our swear words on YouTube now, you know? Like, that was a train wreck of a situation. You know, and that's kind of maybe apprehensive there, where it's like, you know, now I think I'm good at just sticking to 2. You know, and personally, between the 2 platforms, I have always been an advocate for, I think Twitch is a nicer place to stream, personally. I do prefer streaming on Twitch compared to YouTube. But I will give credit where it's due that YouTube streaming has come a significantly long way, and they've made the experience significantly better. It is miles improved compared to what it was before, where it was a bit shit for a while, but they're getting there, and they're making it better, and they have some cool things on it now that it's quite nice, and like they offer a lot of different options, and like they integrate it really well too, with like even YouTube videos and shorts. That whole thing is really good between them all. But I still, for streaming specifically, I love Twitch. I do like being here, you know? As a viewer, I like the separation of the 2. As a content creator, I like the separation of the 2 as well. It's always interesting to talk about that too, I think, just for myself, because like, I always just consider myself a streamer. And then YouTube is almost like just an extra thing with that. I'm a streamer first and foremost, and then we make YouTube videos too. Even if the YouTube videos get watched more than the streams, it's always been a weird relationship there. But I understand why that is too, because like, you know, not everyone has time to tune in live. Time zones are a thing. Everyone's busy. Whereas on YouTube and that, it's like, hey, here's the bit you missed. Go watch it whenever suits you. And that's a really convenient service to have, you know? So like, I like to kind of think about both in the back of my mind at any point in time. You know, and, you know, like absolutely no problem, you know, like you watch whatever I do, whatever way you want. There's even the stream archive where it's like, hey, you know, if you want to watch the full stream but couldn't catch it live, it's here, you know? So like, that's like 3 different ways to watch this, you know? Like live, highlights, or the VOD. You know, so like that's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. Chloe brings a whole set of polish onto the YouTube videos. She absolutely does. No, for sure. Like, I'm so fucking happy with like how the videos turn out. Hope everyone's enjoying the Minecraft highlights. Those have been very fun to work on. My ADHD struggles to watch streams. Well then, you know, there's other form factors, you know? Shout out even as well to some of the clip channels, because there are a few floating about. There's like 2 that I know of, just like little clips of the streams. For the record, I feel like it's important to say, like, I really don't have a problem with stuff that I do being clipped and kind of shared like that. Yep, hi Drift King Clips. This might get clipped and posted there. How's it going? I really don't have an issue with that, you know, and absolutely share that, absolutely monetize that. The only thing I ever really ask is just, you know, if you can slap a little credit where possible to like sources and that. I think that's just kind of important. That's just kind of a courtesy. And like the big, and you know, and as long as it's kind of clear that like, this isn't me, you know, I think that's kind of like just an important one as well. Like, you know, like RTGame Clips official YouTube channel. Like, don't call it that, you know, like, cause like that's kind of like, just make it clear that like it's not me. I think that's also just a courtesy thing, you know. But like, I really have no problem with that, you know. Like, make clips, monetize them, and that share them. Like, it's very kind of people to do that, you know. Well, if they're monetized, I do not have a problem. Just like again, things where like, I would have an issue. It's like, don't just download my video and upload. Don't just download my VODs and upload them too, because we do that our end, you know. Like, you know, like you don't need to rehost a VOD. We have an archive channel for that, so like I'm kind of just like, there's really not any need to do that, you know. And I'd appreciate if folks just don't do that, because we have a VOD. But like, if you're clipping it, you're re-editing it, absolutely, like I'm so okay with it. So like, there's never any question there. Speaking of Minecraft, would you consider making a movie of all the Minecraft videos into one, or would the playlist be better as is how the videos are formatted? I think the playlist is better, yeah. I don't want to just re-upload the Minecraft playthrough. It's like, hey, here's like 10 hours. It's like, that's just like kind of fucking scary. It's in the best format it can already be now, which is like with the chapter divisions and the like the segment divisions. I really love how we've done it. Like, hey, here's like a week of streams, and here's all like the best bits, and it's all organized with the chapters. I'm really glad people like the chapters. The chapters I've put together myself, like kind of after the fact, and like I have fun, like kind of working together, like working out the breaks in them. It's been really fun to put together. I talked about it in like a comment on one of the videos, but like for the chapters, for me, I look at it as if it was an old Minecraft Let's Play from like 2010 or 2011, and every one of those chapters back in the day would have been an individual YouTube video you would have watched on the site. But I also don't want to upload like 50 fucking Minecraft videos back to back, so we put them together. So every time one Minecraft highlight video releases now, hey, here's like what would have been like 8 Minecraft videos back in the day in one place. And that's how I've kind of looked at it, and I think that's like kind of a nice way of organizing it too. Chapter 404 is the best. A moment of silence for Chapter 404, yeah. Poor Chapter 404. But yeah, like, I mean, because I grew up watching a lot of old Minecraft Let's Plays. So, like, that's how it is kind of in my brain. That's really how it would have been, you know? You look at, like, old Yogscast series and stuff like that. Like, Shadow of Israfel, we got up to, like, what, part 42? Part 43 soon? Part 43 soon, right, guys? Been a while. The unfortunate username that is Walter Wright Crack Attorney. Jesus. Thank you for the tier 2. Hi, Dan. I'm a long-time YouTube enjoyer. So glad to have you. Good God, 13 years. Christian Bale made their first film ever out of the sun when they were 13. You were 13 and made a lot more content. RT is greater than Mr. Bale. I don't think that's how it works. I don't think that's how it works. Hope you find your sandwich, Walter. Don't hurt me. It's a very funny username. Oh, God. Are you playing Slay the Spire 2 when it comes out? Oh, I'm really fucking excited for that. Yeah, I did not expect them to be doing a Slay the Spire 2. That's like so surreal. Because like Slay the Spire is like the granddaddy of the roguelike card builder. And there's been so many games since then. And now it's like coming back for the throne. And like that's a really weird feeling. It's like, oh shit, that's gonna be cool. Cannot wait for that. That's gonna be great. There's a sequel. There is a sequel announced now. There's a 2. Slay the Spire 2 is happening. Like, what, 10 years after the fact? Basically Sex 2. Sex was so good, they made a sequel. Can't wait. Oh, God. I'm genuinely shocked Slay the Spire 2 is a thing, though. Like, because there's been so many roguelike deck builders. Shout out to Balatro. Shout out to Wild Frost. I fucking love that game. That's got a mobile port now. If you want to play it on the go. That's actually really cool. Genuinely love that one. There's been, like, so many in that space, though, that have released. So it's so surreal to see it coming back after all this time. And I'm very excited for it. It's on mobile, fuck me. It just came out on mobile. I think it's like free to try, and then you can get it for like 7 quid or something. I'm not sponsored, I just really like the game. Ah, God. Balatro Mobile may get me fired. Balatro Mobile will be the death of me. I've been debating even like picking up like a fucking Steam Deck just to have it on that. I haven't got a Steam Deck, but mainly because it looks really fun. I've like seen them and I've played in them, but like I have so many games on Switch that I need to play already. I think Balatro is just on Switch, but I don't want to lose my progress. Don't want to lose my progress, so I'm tempted to just get a Balatro machine because I really like that game. It's so fucking good. Keep gambling. Excuse me. Oh, God. Yeah, I'm gonna hold off, though. I'm gonna be good. I have too many games on Switch I need to play still. We get there. Are you interested in the Stardew update? It looks fun. I'm good. I've kind of played all the Stardew I want, though. Amazing game, though. We went on another tangent there, I think. Yeah, it's like, I was talking about content and that, yeah. I also like, when I do content and that, I guess, I like to have series, and I really like organizing series. I'm sure you kind of noticed that with the Minecraft stuff. I like that sense of like, hey, we've got this here, you can go back and watch it whenever, you know? You want to see me play Stardew Valley? Sebby! You know, you want Slime Rancher? You want Dave the Diver? Like, I like doing stuff like that. Because that's how I watch a lot of old content. Like, I watch a lot of like old Germa VODs and stuff like that. Where it's just like, hey, Germa's playing sorcery. It's like, excellent. I have like 10 videos to watch. Too bad the playlists in the archive channel aren't organized. We're working on that for the archive channel. Both myself and Val. We are working on that. They will be organized eventually. So don't worry there. They are organized on the YouTube channel. Yep. We're just trying to get around to it. Just gonna take a while, but we will get there. So don't worry too much, okay? Sorcery is my favorite game series. Thank you so much for introducing it to me. I'm really glad. Yeah, I fucking love Sorcery. My favorite right now is this Japanese guy doing a blind Minecraft playthrough. There are like 130 videos. I mean, that sounds really cool. Hope he's having a good time. Yeah, I'm not quite blind because I remember bits. I've seen bits through like the build streams and stuff, but I've never experienced it the way I have, which has been really fun. We're probably gonna go like another week of Minecraft streams. I talked about this in the description of the latest part. I reckon the next highlights video on YouTube will be the last one. Because there's other games that I want to sink some time into. And you know, and I feel like I've really gotten a sense to kind of re-experience it. So like there's I have like a bucket list of things I want to do. You'll see it come like the next Minecraft stream. I'll talk about it. But like the next week and then will probably be the last one. And I really hope people have enjoyed it, you know? I really do. You will then play Minecraft 2. Maybe we get a hint for what's next. I already talked about it. Like I mentioned Fallout. I really want to do something Fallout related. Does the bucket list include starting your 140-part Genshin Impact playthrough? Genshin, baby, let's go. We love Genshin. But of course, not as much as we love Honkai Star Rail in this house. Let me tell you, I want to ride the Star Rail. Let's go. Best games. Best games. I could just scare you by saying that every now and then. Genpai can teach you the ways of Honkai. Yeah, Shen has been mad into it. Shen outed me on stream for launching Genshin Impact the other day. I was in a call with some friends. I just logged in to check my primos and that, you know, get a few rolls. I have this unfortunate tendency that's like, I've gotten very lucky on my rolls in Genshin. So like when I started playing, I literally just got 2 5-star characters back to back. Like instantly. And then I booted up, like I played for a bit, booted up the game like for the first time like a year later. Instantly got the new 5-star character. I think it was Dea. Actually met the voice actor for her at a Kumacon in Galway, which was really cool. It's like, oh hey, you're actually on my team. I know you. I know your voice. Instantly got her. Like, okay, I'm good. Call it a day. And you know, so I was trying to repeat that experience. I didn't get it this time. The next time I will. Next time I will. I just wait a while, log in. Let me collect what is due. Thank you. See you on here. The moral is that gambling always pays. Oh no. I don't spend any money on the game, so don't worry. Every year I see a Kumacon happen and get really confused for a minute. Kumacon's good fun. Like, they know how to throw a good convention in Galway. That was great. That's one of my favorites I've ever been to. Genuinely. The team there and the gang was so lovely. Oh, God. Will you play the Elden Ring DLC? I'm very excited for the Elden Ring DLC, yes. Very excited. Yeah, there's a lot on my radar that I still want to play. I have one I don't mind sharing, because it will happen when it launches. I wanted to give Paper Mario Thousand Year Door another chance, because I have quite notoriously stated that I did not enjoy that game when I played the original. I got bored. But I want to try and give that a chance, because that comes out end of May. So we might be giving that a go later. Yeah, I got bored playing it. And it's really controversial. Like, my favorite's Super Paper Mario. My second favorite is Origami King. That is not a popular opinion. But I enjoyed that game significantly more. But I want to give it a go. And I think with the new coat of paint, that might help. Because they can kind of change some mechanics. It's going to look better. Which I think is important. But I think especially for Paper Mario, the aesthetic is actually a very important part. Like, it's not the same game without the kind of paper and cardboardness of it. And Thousand Year Door didn't really have that, whereas the new remake of it does. Like the graphics actually are very important for the premise of what the game is. I love watching all your indie game playthroughs. I love seeing underappreciated talent highlight. Oh, thank you. Yeah, we found some really good shit as well. Like, Slay the Princess is one that's, like, in the back of my brain. That was, like, phenomenal. I know they're doing, like, a big update for that eventually. That was such a good game. Very surreal, but I really enjoyed it. The Smitten for the Smitten. It's one of the few games where, like, we actually, like love one. I feel like in most things we play, like especially in Persona, it's like, oh, hey, you want a relationship with these characters? It's like, nah, I'm good, man. But like, I couldn't do that to my boy the Smitten. I just couldn't do it. Giga Chad, Johnny Anime. You had a relationship with money, it's true. Oh, the fucking Danish Shiro things. God, that was a very fun playthrough. That was a really fun one. And yeah, like, honestly, like, for future stuff this year, like, I've talked about at the start of this year, I have more project-based stuff. I have some really cool shit that I cannot talk to you about yet until it's ready, that I'm working on. And then I just have, like, just more fun shit that I want to do, to be honest. I'm trying to do some really different stuff this year. It will take a while until it's ready. Even weirdly doing the Minecraft Let's Play has been one of like the weirder shit. Cause like I'm really glad I've had such a good time with that game. It's been really cool seeing that resonate with people so much too. Because I went into it thinking, hey, we'll do the dragon and we'll just see how we do, you know? Kind of re-experience it. But now it's like, okay, well, I gotta go a bit more. You know, I can't leave it there. And like for a lot of weeks, it's been like, once I get to like the highlights video and see it all come together, it's like, okay, there's more I want to do. I am kind of at the point now where it's like, okay, I know what I want to do next, but then I think I'm good. You know, but like even doing it all these weeks and like since the start of March, it's like, that's way longer than I thought we would be playing it. That's way longer. And it's been really fucking fun. And that was one of like the weirdly kind of just different things. Like, hey, what if we just play Minecraft? Remember when people just played Minecraft like 10 years ago? Because no one does anymore, like not as many. It's like, it's different. It's very different. And that's a kind of weird thing because, you know, we're just playing the game. Even recalling the series, like, let's actually play Minecraft. It feels really weird to have to state that. Like, it being like everyone saying, God, this is nostalgic, you know? But it's been really fun. Minecraft as well is one of those games I just hugely appreciate. Like, geez, I've been playing that game for so long now. Like, back in the day, and like, even when we started doing variety content, that was one of the first big ones. It's playing that, you know, all the plot builds and all the server builds. You think you could do any other weird things, like actually playing Minecraft? It's not that weird when you say it like that. Like, it really isn't. That's the thing. I have stuff I want to do, though. I have stuff I want to do. And I'm excited to share it. The plan is to just get a mix, and the big thing for this year in particular, and just even content going forward for me and for finding a lot of joy and like personal fun, is I want more of these like kind of weird projects sprinkled in. Like, you saw things like the boss rush stream that took a lot of preparation. The Princess Daisy song, even like the green screen stuff, like that would be like more project based, where it's like it's really different, but I hope people like it. The worst of RTGame is just like, that was an editing project of Chloe's. That was really fun. I'm so happy with how it turned out. It's really fucking funny. Just, you know, like there's like some different stuff like that. And for me as kind of a creator on these platforms, doing stuff like that really kind of keeps it alive. Because I like, for me, because it's like, hey, you know, this is kind of like another passion project within the passion project that I want to do, you know? I always try and just maintain that whenever I make content too. Like, you know, I've talked about it many a time where like, when I moved to variety content, it was very important to me to set it up that we are doing variety now, because I love video games in general and some extra stuff too. And I'm just going to do whatever the fuck I like now. And I'm very thankful I set things up like that, because I never feel like I'm pressured to do one thing over the other. You know, and that is a good feeling. So I know even with like the Minecraft Let's Play wrapping up soon, you know, like we got one more YouTube video probably left, and like another week of streams to go. I know with that wrapping up though, that's okay, because, you know, now I'm gonna start on something new, and I'm gonna have fun all over again, you know. And I'm very thankful to have an audience that's very accepting for stuff like that too. Like, you guys are genuinely great, you know. Very thankful for my community. RimWorld when? I've done RimWorld. Give it a search. There's a RimWorld highlights video in there. We've streamed that. Hey, you gonna play newer Minecraft updates? If I feel like it. I'll always do something if I feel like it. There's some things I've had my fill. Like, I'm good for Ace Attorney. You know, there's a lot of games there. I know there's a new trilogy. I'm sure it's good fun, but I'm good. I feel like I've had my fill. I don't think Von Karma has as much of a presence in the other ones. I know there's like a weird spin-off game, but I'm not really interested in that. Persona as well. Like, Persona, the main reason I shy away is because that's just such an intense game. Like, there's so much there. And like sometimes I just kind of draw the line. It's like, oh god, you know, like that. it's almost like a bit overwhelmed. Like Persona 5 very much was like, I've always wanted to stream this, so fuck it, we're gonna do it now. Like I had to buy a second copy of the game because I actually bought it on PS4 originally. It took so long to schedule it that they announced the remake, so it's like, for the, you know, the port basically. So it's like, oh, okay, well, I gotta play this version now. I know one game that I would always love to stream, but I probably never will, and it's a game I hugely enjoy, is Xenoblade Chronicles. It's just one of the best JRPGs ever made. But it's 200 hours long. Like, so it's just a tall fucking order to play it, you know? And it's just intense, you know? And I don't know if I'm about, like, even, like you know, trying to get that to YouTube. It just seems like an impossible task. It just seems impossible. And there's 3 games of that as well, you know? And so it's just like, oh, it's too much. It's too much. But I'll always enjoy it at my off time. I hope you've enjoyed the Xenoblade music being sprinkled into the Minecraft highlights. Any of the battle themes, that's all been Xenoblade. You play the games off screen? I do. That's the thing. I do. Yeah, I really enjoy them. It's just too much to stream. It's just too much. You know, maybe someday. No, I do love those games, but right now I'm good. I'm good. Sent Omnia region. Yeah, the music for that place is really fucking good. That's really good. Is it ever too late for an RPG pivot? It's like, fuck it. Every Final Fantasy. Enjoy the next, like, 4 years of my channel. Gonna be here a while. Let's go. Like, nah, I mean, I always want to do a mix of stuff. Love your challenge idea for Balatro. Hey, how's it going, Frost? Yeah, good luck. Yeah, the Balatro challenge. I want to show people this. Give you a bit of an idea. This is like inspired by what you guys asked me to do on stream the other day. The Balatro challenge, if you are a creator or if you just want to do this yourself and take up the challenge, you don't have to stream it. I encourage you. The Balatro Streamer Seed Challenge. Get the highest possible score using your name as the seed. We must determine who has the strongest seed. I think that's a really fun challenge. Apparently, people in the Balatro Discord server have worked out how to get, like, anti-18 with my seed, which is shocking. I don't know how. I don't know how they've managed that. But, like, they're actual scientists. Oh, anti-22. Jesus. Yeah, that's even higher than I thought it was. But yeah, fun stream challenge. I think Doug said he might do it on the tweet. I really hope he does, because that would be fun. We have to decide. We have to get like a ranking board going. We need to see who's out on top. I think that's like a really fun idea too. And thanks to all you in chat for suggesting that originally. Like, there's some of you who said, hey, put RTGame in as the seed, you know? Is Miss Cupcakes improved the score? She's not been able to beat it. And the best thing is, she's so upset about it. So sorry. She's so upset. She's so upset. And it's a good feeling. It's a good feeling. We win these. We won in Balatro. We beat her. He's not sugarcoating it. I ain't gonna sugarcoat it. Oh, God. How could you not beat it? It's a very high score. It's tough. She's just not been able to beat it. It's hard. It's a really challenging one. However, we did that first try, too. That was the first run of the seed. You know, because like, if you rewind it and you start metagaming it, you know, you might be able to improve that. We did it one take. That's important. Your seed is just too strong. God. Terrible. I want to say as an aside as well, I know I've been bad about this stream. Thank you to the many people subbing and the bits as ever. There's been a lot of you just kind of sprinkling them in. Sleepy Australian, thank you. They went to bed. Thank you very much. Yell and Mute, thank you for 1500. Thank you to everyone there. Emperor, Blood Sugar. Thank you, gang. I've been very bad about it today. I've just been talking a lot. The music as well. Let me pop this in the Discord server for you. This is a Hollow Knight lo-fi and chill mix. I've just popped it in the live stream chat, and I'm just going to pop it in the RTGame chat in the Discord server, so it's there for you. Very lovely music mix. Will you ever do drugs? Okay, gang, my next project, it's the drug stream. We've got every drug in the table, and then we're gonna have a tier list where we rank the effectiveness of them. Okay, here we go. Do not do that. Don't do that. Oh no. €1 drug versus 10,000 euro drug. The €1 drug's gonna fucking kill you. Oh no. Oh, it's just paracetamol, okay. Look, I can't do stuff like that, okay? I just can't. I'm too scared. I'm not that kind of person. Like, I'm morally upset if I take like too much cough syrup. Because, like, God, I've wasted some of this. I shouldn't have taken that much. I shouldn't have taken that much. I feel bad about it. Like, I don't stand a fucking chance. Okay, I can't do it. You collapse when you stand. Are you planning on playing any more Zelda games? I mean, I love Zelda games. Yeah, I've got a few more that I would love to do. There are many classics in there. Could be good fun. I think we've had like close to an annual Zelda game the last few years too. Here's the Kingdom last year, Wind Waker the year before that, Breath of the Wild the year before that. Was it? No, Breath of the Wild was 2 years before that, I think. Breath of the Wild was 2020. God, that's scary. Okay, not quite an annual Zelda, but we've done a few. We've done 3. I've got more stuff that I want to play, though. You know, we'll always be finding stuff. There's a suggestion box on the Discord server. I had to make that, like, subscribers only, just to limit the flow, because I was getting kind of overwhelmed with the amount of stuff coming in. Hope that's understandable. But it's there. You know, people have been posting stuff in it. It's just kind of, because, like, that's a channel I literally read everything that's put in it. And I try and even respond from time to time, so like I have to limit the flow or it's just too much. Non-subs still view alerts? Oh yeah, for sure. Like there's only a few like sub-exclusive channels on the Discord. Like it's like there's a sub chat, there's a suggestion box, there's a shitpost channel. It's because we have to have a way of moderating that and controlling the flow. You know, so that's there. And there's also in the Minecraft server. You know, if you want access to on the Minecraft server community, play survival, play creative. We manage all that through the Discord. Will you stream your driver's exam? I don't think my driving instructor would appreciate that. I think he'd be very upset that instead of taking the road seriously, I'm looking at my phone constantly and talking to a live chat feed. I think that's the most upsetting thing you could possibly do in a driving test. I'm just holding my phone. It's like, no chat. I won't turn left here. He'd be very upset. I don't think he'd appreciate our pog champs. You ever regret not teaching English in Japan like planned? Not for a moment. I am so thankful to be here and doing this. Because this was always the dream. I'm very thankful to still be doing this. Which pole should I go the speed limit? That's gonna get fucked real quick. That's gonna get really fucked. Any games you're interested in playing from the suggestion box? Yes. But I will not tell you what they are. Because that's how we do things. But when I have something to show, you'll see. Alright, keep your secrets. 10 gifted, and no, I'm not reading the rest of that. Jesus. Oh, God almighty. Terrible. When's the next Smash tournament? I want to gamble all my swag bucks away. I've been thinking about that too. It's like, when are we doing WWME again? Yeah, I love the Amiibo streams too. Those are so fun. Those are so fun. I do not know yet. Those take a very long time to prepare. There's a lot of work that kind of goes into it, for like even getting the theme and all the training involved. It actually takes a while. I'm really glad people have enjoyed those though, because like that is like, that premise is like a passion project from college that I used to do all the time, and I really thoroughly enjoy. We had our underground Amiibo gambling ring. Not gambling, not real gambling. We had to check so I wouldn't get expelled from college. It was good fun. Got 800,000 and I'm waiting to waste it all away. Well, save your swag bucks. There's meaningful rewards now too. You know, if you desire meaning, you have that option available to you too. But I personally would recommend waiting for the gambling. Because if you have 1 million now, you know, you might be able to make that 2 million. Will there be more Mario Party streams? I actually really like Mario Party. Yeah, we need to stream that more. It's always a good time. You give some shoutouts to Carlo. I'm a German guy who lives here for 4 years now, and I love your streams and YouTube videos. Carlo, County Carlo, yeah? How's it going, Carlo? The county. Hey, you know, give a shout out to my area. Oh, God. You ever planned on playing another Persona game? Probably not on stream. They're just a bit intense. It's intense in the sense that it's like, you only realize it after the fact, and this is one of those things that are just being kind of kinder to myself and pacing myself better. It's like, I forget that we basically marathon Persona, and it's like literally like every weekend for like weeks upon weeks, it's just like, hey, I'm streaming another 20 hours of Persona 5. And that's just how it was every weekend for like 2 months. Which is, you know, it adds up. It adds up, because I was on top of everything else, you know? You know, absolutely love my time. I wouldn't have done it any other way. But, you know, for pacing myself on that, it's kind of like, okay. Gotta go slow, you know? Gotta go slow. It was insane, but great. Yeah, like, that was a lot, you know? I know even from, like, on the editing standpoint, that was a lot, because it was so much to condense. So, like, you know, I think Persona 5 is really a once-off. But you have it there. If you ever want me to play, like, a very heavy JRPG game, you know, very anime game, that experience is there now, you know? I try and look at things for content like that quite often, where it's like, I want to do a particular kind of thing. So, like, in my head, like, Phoenix Wright trilogy, it's like, that's the visual novel trilogy, kind of. Or, like, that's kind of like the kind of more anime visual novel one, you know? Because I want that kind of experience. I'll look at, like Zelda games, where, like, hey, that's kind of like more the RPG adventure. You know, I have, like, a lot of platformer ones. I've done, like, most of the Mario platformers I want to play. Like, hey, I want to do, like, a racing game, so, hey, here's a Forza series, you know? That's me and Cars, the series, you know? I kind of like looking at stuff like that. like trying to find like new types of premises where it's like, okay, we're gonna do it this way, you know? You're good at 2D platformers. Thank you. I really enjoy them. Will I buy Novizac? I have. There's highlights of that up. I did not assassinate John F. Kennedy. Yeah, I try and just look at stuff like that. It's like, hey, you know, I'm feeling something different. And it's like kind of like I sort things in my head like that, where it's like this kind of fits that. I try and organize stuff like in those playlists too. And, you know, I'm always just kind of looking for, hey, you know, this sounds like it might be a really different experience. And I love stuff when it's like, this is really different to anything else I've done. What game genre do you refuse to do? The one I don't take suggestions on is horror. I just don't do horror that well. A lot of good horror games, but I need to be able to hide behind a screen and watch someone else kind of play it. You know, like I've seen like Jerma 985 is like someone like who's, I mean, Jerma 985. He's done like Resident Evil playthroughs. It's been fun to watch. There's a streamer, a creator I like by the name of Simbalily, who like kind of does like some of them too. And it's just very kind of chill. And like that's nice because there's a degree of separation. And so like I'm not in the driver's seat because that scares the fuck out of me. And I can't handle that. So I need to kind of just hide. I can't handle the horror when I'm the one at the wheel. It's too much for me. Same, yeah. And it's still fun to do one occasionally, but I just don't take suggestions on them because, like, most horror games, it's like, I'm not going to be able to play that. I'm just not. I'm too scared. You know, there's a market for watching cowards get scared by jump scares. Well, you're in luck because the Subnautica playthrough is the game for you. That very much toes the line with horror throughout it. Because that was terrifying. You know, even Lethal Company and like content creator, although that's a bit of a different vibe. You know, that's like funny, silly, goofy multiplayer. I feel the opposite. Don't like horror movies, but I love watching games because I'm in control. I think I'm actually not that bad with horror movies. It's just games because I'm in control. It's like the other way around for me. Like, I'm pretty okay with most horror films. If it's too gory, I can't hack it. Too gory, I can't do it. Like, I can't watch Saw and that because like eye stuff and that really freaks me out. It's just no, not about that life. I have a very visual imagination, so it's like I don't need this in my life. Plan on playing more VR games. I haven't been having trouble with my VR, unfortunately. I have to get my index fixed. I've been kind of hoping and like just waiting for Valve to be like, hey, index 2. Which I reckon is going to be a thing. So I think that'd be pretty cool. You know, I know they're definitely working on stuff there. I think... Oh, Cerny, how's it going? Good to see you. Is that why you haven't played the Outer Wilds DLC? I don't know anything about the Outer Wilds DLC. I'm going to play that off stream at some point. I just didn't feel like playing it on stream. I feel like I had like such a wonderful experience that like I'm happy with that experience that I had online. Index 2, less cables, more power. Thank you. The thing is, it can't be both of those. Like, it really can't. That's the thing. Like, you gotta pick one. There's one I saw recently that actually looks quite cool that I had pointed out to me where it's like actually just a pair of goggles. Not the Apple ones. Because that's all a mess. But it's that idea where it's a pair of goggles and you just plug it into the PC. And it's so fucking lightweight. Is it big screen? I think it's big screen beyond. I think that's the one. I had a look at that and that actually looks quite cool. And I know they've been like very particular thing for myself, but like they test stuff with that, like straight up just like with VR chat and stuff like that, which is a platform I would wholeheartedly recommend. It's very fun with friends. You know, you have a private gang, like, it's a good time. You just all hang out. But stuff like that looks really cool for stuff like that. I don't think you'd be able to stream off of it. I don't know how that would work. Theoretically possible in that, you know? But it looks really fun because it's literally just goggles. Like, and they're so lightweight. Because I think the big thing with VR is, like, you look at the size of a headset. You're basically sellotaping a massive TV screen to your face. And that can't be healthy. And we know it's not healthy. You know, like, it's exhausted. And, like, your face has, like, marks on it when you take it off. Like, as much as I love VR, I think the future direction where it goes is that idea of just little goggles. You know? And this is an actual bit of kit for it. That, granted, you know, a bit expensive and that. It actually looks really cool to me because it actually lives up to that idea where it is just goggles. And it's so lightweight. And the biggest barrier, I think, to VR is just getting people into it easier. I do like stuff like the Quests where they are just wireless and that. I think that makes a huge difference. I haven't got one myself, but I've tried one. And it's just the freedom of just, you pop it on and you're in Beat Saber is insane. You know, because as much as I love my Index, I hate setting it up every time. You know, I just hate it. I don't want to get into VR because it's just like, oh, it's just a slog sometimes. But the way the tech is going to go is to make that experience just easier. And then once the experience is easier and the hardware develops, the price gets cheaper, and then you have it huge. What's your dream collab, Dan? I want to go for a bag of chips with the British comedian Harry Hill. That's it. Just mad respect for Harry Hill. He's one of my favorite stand-up comics. And I'd just like to get some chips with him. That's it. That's the stream. We just get some chips. We have a bit of a chat on stream. We finish the chips. Wish him well. Go about your day, my man. That's all it is. Quest is nice because you can also get the cable to play more graphically intense games. You can, and it's actually nice to have the option there too, you know? I think the tech for VR is still like 10 years out, I think. But then when it gets there, it is so colossally huge. And like I there's so much cool VR shit. It's just the barrier to entry is quite high right now. Like, VR is a very niche interest, and it's like, you know, it's also kind of like a luxury, you know, to even be able to have it. But I think that I think that is going to change as time goes on and technology develops. I hope so. The real VR tech is being a Neuralink test subject. Fuck it. Just put the USB into my brain. Let's go, Mr. Musk. Take me on a wild ride. Like, good luck. Good luck. The dead VR experience. Oh, God. Rudin, thank you for 1,000 bits. Again, earlier. Blood Sugar, thank you for the bits. Nightfall, thank you for the bits. Egg, if subs. I like to think VR is going to develop the same way 3D or IMAX movies develop. Like, it's a huge, of course, but there'll always be room for regular 2D, especially if you can't afford it. And I think it will too. I think it will too. I think there will be a point. And again, I mean, you can kind of see some of the logic with, like, the Apple goggles and that. Like, granted, the Apple goggles and that kind of, like, I mean, I've seen, like, what they do, and it just seems kind of stupid because it's not really that great, but it's like a baby step. But, like, if you think about how much we use a phone, you know, phone but glasses, like, that is basically the logic. And there is a bit of a value with that. It's kind of like how tech will go, where it's kind of streamlined. It's like, let me just, you know, pop that on, and it's like you're going into the fucking Walmart metaverse and shit. I mean, there's really cool potential with that, you know? But the tech is just not there yet. The tech is not there. So that's why when we see a lot of stuff that comes out now, it's like, this looks kind of stupid. It's because it is. You're basically getting the prototype for what's going to be really cool in 10 years. You know? And it's just going to take a while. So, like, my advice for a lot of that is just wait till the real shit comes out, you know? Wait till, like, there's the leap where it's like, that's very significant. and refined. You know? What if you also wear normal glasses, though? Yeah, I mean... Well, I mean, I imagine prescription stuff for that might be a thing at some point. This is all very sci-fi now, suddenly. I know one thing that Beyond does, which is kind of mad, is that they literally scan your face so that, like, they can insert the goggles on your face better. And they just straight up, like, 3D print the cushion. And it's part of the reason why it's expensive as well. It's like they're literally a custom made. It makes it harder to share it with someone because, hey, try these on. It's not designed actually for that person. It's designed for you specifically. So very cute kind of tailoring that though. Like I appreciate the idea. My friend has prescription lenses with our VR. That's really cool, honestly. That is cool. I know with a lot of headsets you can. There's enough room with them currently to just have glasses on. Can't wait for goggle VR though. Stuff like that. Like I think that's gonna be cool. When it's actually done. I like these podcast-like streams. Yeah, me too. I just felt like chatting today. I was like, you know, I could play some more Minecraft today, but it's like, especially kind of like, you know, with Kevin saying, like, you know, he's taking a step back. You know, it's just like, okay, you know, it's hitting very close to home. You know, and I kind of just wanted to talk about stuff, you know. I should say, again, I've said it earlier, I am very happy for the man. You know, he's doing what's best for his own mental well-being, which is always the most important shit. Nothing else is worth it if your mind's not in, like, you know, your mind's in a rough place. It's just not, you know? And he's putting himself first there, and it's a very healthy and normal thing he is doing here. And, you know, and I know his community as well has been really respectful of that as well, which is really good to see. He's got, like, you know, we have a fair bit of crossover ourselves. We've got a lot of good eggs. You know, like that kind of hit close to home. Like I've already been kind of feeling it with Germa taking a step back, you know, and more people are taking a step back. There's probably going to be more people taking a step back before the year's out. Are you going to TwitchCon Rotterdam this year? I am. I will be there. I am very excited. I cannot wait. I won't be making it to the NA one this year. Just doesn't work out timing wise, but I will be in Rotterdam this year. We will absolutely try and do a meet and greet or something. So if anyone's going to TwitchCon EU, come say hey. That's going to be really fun. Amsterdam was so good before. You try to go to Insomnia one year? I've been to Insomnia's before. I haven't been in a while. I'm still trying to get to more conventions than that. AkumaCon was really fun earlier this year. But we do our best. You stream yourself deposing the Irish government? Anything's possible. Oh, God. Let's go. Storm the doll. No. Don't. Jesus, no. Trees and Andy. Vote RTGame. Yeah, we need a gamer as Taoiseach. Taoiseach is what we call our basically Prime Minister. Taoiseach. It means leader. Chieftain. Oh, God. For legal reasons, that was a joke. That was a joke. You need a gamer Taoiseach. You thinking of doing any more Nuzlocks? I've got plans for Nuzlocks, yeah. I still want to get a soul lock in. That'd be really fun. When do you think gamers will control the Galactic Senate? It's coming. What day will you be at TwitchCon? I'll be there for the entire con. So like I think like was it 28th to the 30th? I'll be there the entire time. I don't know when the meet and greet will be yet. But I will let you know once I have more info. We usually don't find out until like closer to the time. But I will be there and I will absolutely have a meet and greet space. Oh, God. Somehow, gamers have returned. A fate worse than death. Oh, God. Okay, gang. It's 6:10 and the ice cream man is outside to let me know that the day is rolling on. He's here again. I don't know if you can hear him. I think we might wrap up the stream. I think we might wind down a bit there. I hope this was a nice chat. I know it was a bit more serious. Just kind of talking about YouTube and, like, you know, creators and kind of mindsets on the platform, but I hope there's some stuff of use in there. Hope it was a good chat to have. Like, I kind of wanted to get it off my chest too and just kind of talk about some stuff. I am not retiring. I'm not really taking a step back. I've always took a step back when I need to, like, kind of like a day-by-day basis. You know, so I plan to keep going as long as I can. I promised you I'd played Fortnite when I'm 36. So, you know, I gotta at least hang around till then, you know? So, like, you've got, like, at least 7 years there. I've gotta hang around a while. You have to have the Fortnite stream. Imagine that's the last one. We got the Victory Royale. Thank you for watching RTGame and the past 25 years of videos. Oh, that's 5. Oh, it's not 25 years, is it? I'll be 36. It'll be 7 years from now. Oh, fuck, it's gonna be 20 years then. Oh, no. It'll be 20 years. After 20 years on YouTube, this man will finally play Fortnite. Jesus. What a milestone. I mean, you gotta look forward to that. You gotta look forward to that. The 20-year celebration. A fifth of a century. Oh, don't say it like that. Put it in my calendar. What date specifically is the anniversary? Hang on. Okay, so it's... The first video on YouTube went up on the 18th of August, 2011. So I will then be 36 in 2031. The 18th of August, 2031. Oh, something to look forward to. You have to convince Stuart to play Fortnite as well. God. Don't like thinking about that, yeah. Not that sounded bad. I have to get Stuart to play. Oh, I don't like thinking about that. No, but just like the 20 years and that. Oh. That's a way off yet. It's a way off. You turned 37 today. A very happy birthday to you. Hope you're having a wonderful day. He hates Stuart. That's why it's taking so long to play Cuphead. We just can't stand each other. Oh, God. Okay. I think this is a good point to wrap up today. I hope this was a nice chat. I'm not going anywhere anytime soon. I'm hugely enjoying what I'm doing. You know, I think, like, positive mental attitude, you know, good mental health practices, some good old self-reflection. That I think it does wonders for anyone in this industry. I think it's really important. You gotta have, like, kind of some self-care checks. You know, burnout gets us all. There's no shame in it. You know, you gotta step down every now and then. You might have kids by the time you play Fortnite. Oh, God, don't say it like that. No. Jesus. I'm gonna play Fortnite with my child, my actual child, my spawn. God. Hey, listen, I haven't got any major plans right now, alright? But it's a while off. Jesus. Don't say it like that. Don't say it like that. Dear God. Be paying for someone's V-Bucks one day, Dad. No! Oh no. What if they like Roblox? Okay, no. So I'm gonna practice some mindfulness and mental health and well-being. We're not going to think about that. We're just not going to think about that. The dread is strong in this stream. I like how that's getting me more than, like, reminding myself I'm going to die someday. I've had more dread realizing I might have kids when I play Fortnite in 2031 than I'm going to die. The Fortnite is bothering me more than death itself. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, alright, let me see you streaming. Let me see you streaming. God. Yeah, you know, Shen's playing some Honkai. Oh, actually, wait. Hang on. I've got a friend I actually really want to raid because it's not every day that she's live. Okay. I am sending you over to Unicorn Owl's care. Unicorn Owl is a very good friend. Kina, she's been in some videos on the channel. You might remember Golf with Friends and that before. A long, long way back. Kina is a painter. She has made some wonderful paintings for me through the years, and she's currently working on a painting. She's absolutely wonderful, and I want you to hop in her stream and wish her well. It's not every day she's live, so I'm gonna leave you in her care, okay? Go wish her well. Thank you so much for coming by, folks. I'll see you all Tuesday. Have a wonderful night, and take care.